Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a new kind of Locomotive Versus. And I opened the stats for nerds by accident. I'm your host, Ellis, otherwise known as the Admiral, and these are double headers. With me, I have a smattering of people. How many people are in the chat right now? Eight,
A
nine?
bunch.
Yeah, a
Many.
bunch.
A fair amount.
One, two,
You'll see
three,
them all.
four,
You'll see them
five,
all later. This is
nine.
a 2v2 game type. It's more or less a tag team. The rules as to when you can change who's in the running are a little bit specific, so you can't just always switch and have your best locomotive forward. But it can be played 1v1. It's designed to be played 2v2. Obviously, it is an extension of Locomotive Versus, so it uses the car cards, or the locomotive cards, I should say, and SteamLocomotive.com if those cards don't exist, which there will be more cards coming soon, TM. Uses a judge or judges, like myself. No designated role for a technical advisor, but it is helpful to have somebody filling in which stats are being called. Usually that goes to whoever is on the team that is calling. That is, the person that's not currently calling from that team should keep track of which stats are being called. I went over the rules a little bit last time, but that was to the people that were there for the test. This is the first public release, so I'll give a brief. Like I said, you have two teams of two. Each person in each team has a specific locomotive that's assigned to them. And going forward, we will be doing specific locomotives as opposed to locomotive classes whenever we can.
Ooh. Oh boy.
This is to bring things in line with the way the cards work. The cards are for a specific locomotive, and
Right.
the original idea of Locomotive Versus was to use a specific locomotive instead of a class as a whole. There are some things where the whole class applies, like number of survivors.
Yeah.
But it remains to be seen in the future whether those points are set aside for things like, oh well, does this specific engine survive? For now, I'm leaving it a little bit loose, but I am trying to move towards a things are engine specific. As for this game mode, though, the calling team, there are two teams of two. The judges or a coin flip will select which team goes first. That team will then select which one of its contestants, and therefore locomotives, goes first. And then the other team, the not calling team, the opposition, will select which one of their locomotives will respond. Then the calling team calls their first stat. Play continues from there, more or less how Locomotive Versus does. The only difference is if you win a stat, and if you are behind in the points at that point in time, you can opt to switch locomotives to the other person. If there is a tie, the calling team is allowed to try to break the tie first with their other locomotive. Then the responding team is allowed to try to break the tie with their locomotive. The opposing team is given the option first. Then the calling team, if there is still a tie, no matter what the opposing team chose, must switch locomotives. If it's still a tie, the opposing team is considered the victor, but no points are awarded, therefore they cannot change locomotives. The calling team will have changed locomotives at that point involuntarily. The opposing team may have changed locomotives depending on their decision. Ties are a little complex, but once you understand that it's sort of, if there's a tie, opposing team can decide to flip. If there's still a tie, calling team must flip. If there's still a tie, the opposing team wins, no points are awarded, and nothing changes from there. The reason it's so specific is sort of to overrule the idea that, oh, it was a tie, but it was technically in our favor, therefore we can change locomotives. You already got the chance to change locomotives when it was a tie in the first place. So, that's why. Anyway, if there are at least 20 points scored, 20 total points scored, anyone, any contestant, whether you're calling, whether you're opposing, whether you're not in play right at that moment, can elect to call a timeout. When there's a timeout, there's only one timeout available. And when there is a timeout, the calling team, the team in the lead is allowed to switch locomotives, and then the team trailing is allowed to switch locomotives. It doesn't change who's calling, but it gives both teams an option to switch who is playing at that moment. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't change who's calling. If there's 30 total points scored, then you can go to style points. The same way, the person who's calling can decide, okay, we're going to go to style points. Style points are more like Locomotive Versus than Loco Royale. Sort of just go around the horn, and as long as one team has more of a thing than the other team, they get awarded the point. So if you have a British engine and an American engine on one team and 2 American engines on the other team, the team with the 2 American engines can get awarded for Knuckles, whereas the other team only has 1, that team has 2. Same goes for anything. If there's only 1 locomotive in the game that has a bell, for example, that team gets the point for having a bell. And of course, naturally, if both locomotives on that team have a bell, you don't get double the points for it, but you still get a point. So,
Yeah.
hopefully that gives a brief overview, I know it was a little wibbly-wobbly, of how to play the game. We have not yet selected who's going to go first, and I think people were sort of DMing, forming into teams. So, folks...
Or maybe there was just one team.
Well, I was being, what's the word?
Inclusive.
I was being inclusive. I was also being hopeful. So, since Brian and KS1, sorry, your name is escaping me, Braden. Brian and Braden. Oh God, that won't be confusing at all. That's
Double
right.
B's.
Double B.
The B-boys.
The B-boys. Since you guys are on a team together, I'll let you into the first one. Who else wants to go into the first game of the night? Because we're probably going to do like 3.
I'll go.
All right,
I mean,
guys.
if nobody else will, I will.
Okay, Fort. So excited about it.
Yeah, I'm not doing
You guys
anything
even
until
chosen
I'm
your
home.
engines yet?
Wait a second. I gotta find it. I just realized I gotta find a picture for my engine.
All right, I'll give you guys a couple of minutes to figure out what you're going to bring. Feel free to DM. But, I mean, Kaiser and Ford is the team for the ages, it would seem.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's definitely speaking from experience.
Mm-hmm.
No
Just
sarcasm
remember-
in there.
Just know, Brian, I might not perform well. I was at Dollywood today, and it was incredibly hot. I don't think my brain's functioning at all.
Then you can
I'm
perform
lucky
completely
wasn't
well with
recording
some
everything
engines.
yesterday or today. Then
Yeah, just take a
I will be going tomorrow.
Yeah.
Wait, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah,
I'm lucky, also
I'm gonna
also
try.
get to see this lad. Oh wait, that's the wrong picture. I mean
Jesus
this
Christ.
lad.
Oh no,
Oh
it's,
no!
it's a train
It's
Sona.
We're professionals, I
Get it
swear.
Yeah, that's me.
Not.
All right, well, everyone
Okay,
can hop
you
into
got
the
that
dock.
door.
Braden and Brian, please post the pictures of the locomotives you're bringing if you've decided. Fort and Kaiser,
Ignore the top one. That is the engine I'm bringing.
this is the
I mean,
engine
they're
we're
both
bringing,
engines
so
I'm
we're gonna
bringing. Just
do
ignore
the
the top
top
one.
one.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
no.
The top
Yes.
one.
100%.
Fridge.
Uh-oh.
Ignore our signature. Hang on, I'll pull up one for you, Braden.
I don't think I can play tonight.
Oh, what's
My
that?
my power just went out, and I've been talking on my phone the whole time.
Oh no!
No.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to do.
Oh.
We're off to a great start tonight.
Yes.
Oh no.
Whoa.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Hang on.
The one.
Hang on.
He's
I've got a
dying.
solution.
We're losing him.
Don't worry, I've got a solution. I will sub in a replacement.
Who are
I'll
you
do it.
pinging?
Okay.
I'm a fan of Canadians.
All
I
right.
got.
Good.
No, but you'll have to take a Southern Railway engine.
Ah,
I-
fuck.
Hey, you like Canadians, do you? Can I show what I'm bringing?
Absolutely.
Hang on. I have a solution because Braden and I have a good friend that is in the server,
Oh boy.
and I'm gonna try and summon.
Yes.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Yes.
That's
Yes.
rookie speed right there.
Oh no!
Yes.
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 What the hell are you bringing?
Oh,
Yes.
Stupid. It's
What?
the beer
No,
can celebrate.
Yes.
It's the beer.
okay.
Oh,
Okay.
God.
Yeah.
Can I change my selection?
No,
Thanks.
no, you cannot.
I was
Oh,
not
man.
expecting this.
This is great.
Next time, when we do these, by the way, I would like people to sort of, come collaborate, chit chat, DM, figure out. Are you seriously bringing that, Kaiser?
It's a different class than the
No,
Iron
no.
Duke.
Oh my
It is the
god.
Rover class.
Oh,
I
fucking
hate
hell.
this.
Okay.
It's terrible. But
Okay, who's
this
gonna
is
be my
so bad.
teammate?
I'll do it. If
Okay, what are you bringing?
Chronos or
I need you to bring something. Actually, wait.
okay. What do you want me to bring? I can bring something.
Dish lights are blessed. Thank you very much.
Yes,
Um,
they
No,
are.
they're not. On Steam Locomotives, they're not
I'll give
great.
you a suggestion. Canadian Pacific P2HJK.
P2.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
the streamlined Mikado. They
Yes.
pulled an LNER and made a streamlined Mikado called the P2. I don't make sense of it, but it works.
Yes.
Uh,
100%.
Something,
I'm
something.
on board.
Cock
It has
of
a
the North.
few trump cards.
It's the Ugist.
CP2.
This
Okay.
is an assemblage, you guys. Kaiser and Ford.
Mhm.
This is what a pairing.
We're covering the extremes.
Please remember, you're trying to do your best to do specific individual locomotives. I know that may be difficult for Kaiser.
Well, no, I can find a
Canadian Pacific
name.
P2.
They're all named.
Oh, okay.
I just-
P2H, P2J, P2K, that specific subclass.
Okay, that.
Don't say what it is, but there is a certain stat that's kinda that
You guys
is
have
very
DM.
Oh, I see it. Yeah. No,
I
you,
wanted to
you
bring
don't.
that to a Royale at some point, but I never got a chance.
Yeah. No, that is a really great. Yeah.
Don't
We-
say anything.
We will, by the way, just be doing sort of miscellaneous doubleheaders for the next, I don't know, foreseeable future, if this is as much of a hit as it seems to be. Because Royales are sort of waiting on a couple of things that are related to the trading cards. So,
Okay, I found a
Rule 5468.
named locomotive
Okay.
that's in the Rover class. It's got a weird name though.
Okay.
Oh, we got the Canadian duels and then Kaiser.
Buckley.
Yeah, Bulkley.
The thing is, for me, I couldn't actually find a picture of the was it the T1B? So they all seem to the only pictures I could seem to find are the T1C, and I don't think the T1C actually has a stat. Doesn't have a stat page, weirdly enough.
Oh, that's
It's
strange.
identical to the T1B. That helps.
Okay, well, okay.
They're pretty much the same class. It's just the T1Cs were built later, and they're the only survivors. I've seen one of them, the one in your picture.
Well, yeah, I know that, but like I'm talking about on this actual stat page is the T1A and the T1B. There's no T1C on there.
It might say that the T1Cs were grouped into the were actually.
I think they were.
Yeah, okay, yeah, they're on the stat page. It says the T1C is grouped in with these. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
If the T1Bs go up to 5935, then yes, the T1Cs are in there.
Yeah.
Right,
okay,
so...
yeah, I'm looking. Okay, so I'm just gonna say this. It seems that the only difference, the literal only difference between the B and the C is that the C's had 2 Westinghouse pumps instead of the 1 that was on the B.
Okay.
Well, that'll help for style points, but not much else.
Well, if you're trying to do a B oh, well, no, you're doing a C because you've got this. If you want to,
yeah. Okay, you know what?
I've seen that lad. He's cool. He's big.
All right.
It's a Selkirk.
Milky, do you have a picture of your locomotive or whatever Brian's forcing you to bring?
I do have one.
I'll grab a pic for you. Don't worry.
Okay.
Kaiser.
This was all arranged last minute because Braden died, so I didn't know what to do.
I mean, as if Kaiser's and Fort's team was also not last minute. They literally just came up with this.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll admit right now.
A slight bit whack.
I am doing this.
Milky, you should take a sauce stick.
God damn it.
Oh.
Just a little bit.
Kaiser is in the middle of a sentence, guys.
I am just saying I am doing this for fun and nothing but fun.
You're not doing it to spite me with this thing?
Maybe.
Okay, yeah.
No, this is a completely different class from the Iron Duke class.
Oh yeah, they look so different.
You sure, bud? Like...
It's GWR, you know, they're gonna have, you know, they're not gonna build, you know, the quote unquote rebuilds that the GWR did. They just built new locomotives and called it a rebuild.
Oh God. Okay. Um.
It's gonna fill up my water.
All right. Go ahead. We'll have a couple of things here. All right.
I can
I'll
tell
do
you
this.
though.
Kaiser.
I'm letting Fort start out.
Oh, you're gonna let Fort start out.
Yeah.
Well, heads or tails, Kaiser?
Heads.
Heads. All right. Flipping a coin. Heads. All right.
Great.
So Fort's gonna start out on Kaiser's team. What about between Milky and Brian? Which one of you guys is going first?
Do we pick heads or tails and then flip a coin, or
No, you guys decide amongst yourselves. You guys will be the recipient of the first call. So
who's
you
going
get it.
first on their end?
Fort is.
Okay, Milky.
Okay.
All right.
I mean, it makes
I'll
sense to
go.
have the larger engine be the defender in this
Oh God.
situation.
Okay.
All right. So we've got Canadian Pacific versus Canadian Pacific.
Yeah.
And Great Western versus Canadian National.
Okay. So wait, who
We
was
should
going
have we
first?
should have Southern UK railway engines versus Southern US railway engines. Or like
That would not go
Also,
well.
Or
Great
like-
Western Railway of Canada.
Yeah, or Great Western Sugar Company engines
Yeah.
versus Great Western.
Great Western versus U.S. Sugar.
All right.
Yes.
So hopefully I have the hang of this after. What the heck was that?
What?
I was dying. Oof.
Yeah.
Who was that?
I
No,
think it
seriously.
sounded like Kaiser.
That wasn't me.
Oh, it was
That
Vert
was me.
exploding in the distance. Oh, okay. All right. Anyway, so here's the lineup. Fort, you are calling. Milky, you are receiving or
Hey,
opposing. Fort, what's your first stat call?
You know what?
Also, Kaiser, you're keeping track of the calls because Fort's calling.
Okay.
Okay, so you know what? I'm going to go here and start us off with oh god, where is it? I can't find it. Oh, there we go. Tractive effort.
Tractive effort.
Adaptive effort. Oh
Okay.
boy.
Milky?
The balls.
Mine is 57,465.
Mine is 76,905.
And the first point goes to Fort,
Yep.
unsurprisingly.
No.
Uh,
Wow, okay. Wait, do I go again, right?
Yes, you go again.
Okay, factor of adhesion.
Factor of adhesion. I'm not surprised. 4.32.
4.03.
Oh, that's a good
Yep.
one.
Nice.
Yep. I know you're kind.
I know
Falkirk
you got.
is
Yeah,
better
Milky's
than
like,
a
oh, I've been here.
Mikado.
On the other edge of the sword, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What to go, what to do, what to do.
My favorite
next.
kind of T1 used against me.
Yes. Pretty much.
Booster.
Booster. Okay.
Do you have a booster, Milky?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Oof.
Brian.
I had to double check.
Brian, do you have a booster? Or sorry,
I know for
would you?
a fact that I don't.
Okay, you don't.
Like, why would a 460 that
Listen,
doesn't work in
I'm
the mountains
just,
have a
I'm
booster?
just asking. Which let me double check.
PSA.
Let me double check the rules when the receiving team has no, does not have that stat. If the opposing locomotive does not have a value, but the team's other locomotive does, the opposing team must switch and use that value. Okay, so, yeah. I didn't actually write down if they don't have it. They, you gotta call something else for it.
Oh god. Okay. Okay. So how about tender water capacity?
12,000 gallons.
14,400.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait, are you? Wait a second. Are you oil fired or are you
I'm
Oh
both.
no.
I'm both.
Well, what are your stats?
Yeah, on your stat page, are you like in the thousands or are you in the
Tons.
tens?
I'm in the
Tens?
tons. Yep.
Okay, well I can't do fuel capacity then. How about
Okay, I actually gotta
maybe.
I've gotta write down the rule for that as well.
Okay, boiler pressure.
Boiler pressure. Nice high, 275.
But the thing is, I'm higher, 285.
Yeah, I knew
Okay.
that.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, well, okay, so the T1A is 275.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
right. Whoops.
Yep.
Okay, let's see. What can we do? Tube length. Or flue tube length.
18.
20.91.
Jesus,
Okay.
it's big.
It feels good to be it feels good to win.
It's bigger. It's better. It's too much for Mr. Incredible.
I just wanna point out that in one of the tests, Kaiser was also paired with somebody with a much larger locomotive and literally did not get to call a single stat.
Oof.
This is true.
Oh god. I'm sorry, Kaiser.
No, just wait till
He's
you get.
taking the. He's in
wait.
his happy place.
Let me have weight stats, and that's all you'll know.
Okay, yeah.
I'm sorry to inform you, Gauge is not a stat.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I mean, if gauge was a stat, I'd be winning because all y'all are narrow gauge.
Smaller is better.
For those out of the loop, Kaiser is 7-foot gauge.
7-foot quarter inch, actually.
No, it's 7'8" and a
Something
quarter
like
inches.
2 or 3 feet off of the no gauge.
The
Yeah.
no gauge.
Wait, I thought that one was like 15, not 10.
Oh, it's 10.
It's either
Oh, wow.
9 or 10. Nobody
Oh.
really knows.
Okay, so let's get back on track here.
Uh-huh.
Isn't
if
it
that
funny
were-
when in all the train games that we play, somebody says back on track? That's the funniest thing ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like saying it's a
I will
great
shoot you.
place.
Okay, so evaporative heating surface.
Evaporating surface. 3,436.
5,054.
Yep.
All right.
Superheater surface.
970.
2,032.
Jeez.
Combined heating surface.
4,406.
7,086.
Holy
Yep.
crap.
Huge.
Whoops, I just realized I've clicked onto the wrong engine and people were looking at Kaiser's since I mentioned 7-foot gauge.
Jeez, they Kreml onto
Yeah.
that thing. Okay. How about tubes?
152.25
Oh, okay.
or 158.
158, really? Okay, then.
Yeah.
So I got 72, 2.25.
All right, Milky takes the point.
Ah,
Milky,
Yay!
would you like to
Oh.
keep it, or would you like to switch to your other locomotive?
Nah, I got a few more to go.
Okay. You still have the option every time you win a stat and you're behind in the points, so you could win 6 more and still be able to switch. So
What is their local base ID?
Mine is 65,057.
Wow, much higher than mine.
that's 65,000.
Y'all
No,
want to know?
6,500. No, sorry.
Y'all want to know what mine is?
Is it like 100
What
and
is-
something?
He was number 3.
I was gonna say it's a Mikado, so it's got to be real low.
Oof.
This is
Okay.
number 3. Now we just need to.
local base 3.
Who's number 2?
I can't remember.
I can look it up. Give me a
I
second.
assume they're in alphabetical order, so it's something else that's. It might be a Canadian national engine.
Could be.
Because the first one's like what the
Akron
local
can't.
base one is like.
Yeah.
no, it's a Santa Fe, Mike.
Okay, never
God
mind. They're not
damn
in
it.
alphabetical order. Forget me.
It's
Oh wait,
class
Atchison,
4060.
Topeka, and Santa Fe. Okay, yeah, they are. They
Yeah.
are in. All right, never mind. Anyway,
Avocado.
Milky.
How many of you were built?
This version there were 10.
You know how many of me were built?
11.
69.
Nice.
Oh,
Wow.
nice.
Nice.
Why 69?
Also, it's 3. It's 3 because you put in the loco base ID instead of the score.
Oh crap.
Rip.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Congratulations.
Yeah. It's supposed to be 3. Yeah.
I was like, damn, he grabbed down those points really quick. I even like consciously recognized like,
Oh,
there
yeah.
are more points on the board than there should be. I couldn't
Oh
tell
yeah,
why.
I was gonna say, shouldn't Brian be marking down?
Oh yeah,
Hmm.
Brian, you should be marking down what stats have been called because you were on the calling team and not calling.
Oh yeah. So,
Loco base ID and what was
loco base
that?
ID
That it
and
was-
number built.
Yep,
Yeah.
number built.
Good. Thank you, Kaiser. This is why I should pay you. But
Do
there
you
are lots
pay
of people I
Tyler?
should pay. No. He's also
Wait,
someone I
wait.
should pay.
All right, Milky, what next?
Y'all are getting paid for this?
No one's getting paid
Yeah,
for this,
we're-
actually.
Yeah. Okay, number and craft.
Gee, I wonder what it could be. 10.
I'm still nice. 69. Okay,
Alright.
Hey, Milky, I have a suggestion for you.
what?
There's something that starts with DD
Is
that we
it,
might want to get off the
Yeah.
board real
is it
quick.
da-da-da-da-da?
No.
Oh, wait, no, never mind. It would be a tie. Never mind.
No, I get where you were going at, Brian, but I know Berserkirk equally well.
The thing is, I wanted to get rid of it before the other thing showed up.
Milky's like, I'm 4 parallel universes ahead of you.
Yeah.
Now,
What year were you built?
1938.
1943.
oh my god.
Yes. Thank
I'm
you.
glad I'm glad I wasn't the one at the receiving end of that.
1850 something?
No,
Dead.
it's 1870 something.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Damn.
Still beyond
Like
dead.
the very middle of the Gauge Wars.
Okay,
Yeah.
what's your minimum weight of whale?
Minimum weight of rail, that would be 103.
Damn it, I'm 104.
Oh no.
Right,
No.
I thought the Selkirk was heavier.
Yeah, he has
hand it
more
over to
axles.
me. I got some weight stats to call.
He can't switch
yeah.
to you. You're in the lead.
Oh, right, yeah, we're in the lead,
Oh.
right. But again, it's the T1A that was 104 as well.
In 6 points, you can switch.
Yeah, you can call a timeout.
Okay, what did we do? How about, not gonna do that, not gonna do that, not gonna do that, jeez, okay, that one, I don't think that would work. Oh god, okay, I forget, what happens if there's a tie?
If there's a tie, the opposing team is given the option to break the tie by switching locomotives, and if they choose not to, or if there is still a tie, then you guys have to switch locomotives in order to break the tie. And if there's still a tie, it goes to the opposing team.
Okay. Okay, how about, Power MT. No, L1.
Power L1.
Power LMT1. Yes, Power L1. 28,129.
41,813.
That was a good call.
Yeah.
How about, Robert Lemance's power computation?
Robert J. Messina. 19,333.
26,648.
Damn, son.
Yeah.
Sad trumpet sounds.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna keep on this track, same as above, plus superheater percentage.
23,586.
34,375.
There you go.
Same as above, but substitute firebox area for grade area.
104,005.
151,472.
Wow.
Okay.
Um, actually, wait, I forget. What is it with? What is it with this one? Oh God, I can't actually find it.
So you can keep
All right.
thinking. It's giving me time to work on my rubber band ball.
Seriously, on the list, where's evaporative heating? Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah. Yeah. So I'm gonna go with evaporative heating surface divided by cylinder volume.
Oh.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yes. 244.3.
That's pretty good.
278 on the dot.
That's really good. For
Yeah.
such
Yeah.
a
For a
big
two-cylinder.
engine. Oh well, yeah. I guess he's 2 cylinders.
Yeah.
Like,
Selkirk's
any
be
Malay
massive
would
like that.
trounce this.
One
Yeah.
more point for it, and we can switch.
God, I'm trying to find things that aren't weight stats.
Hey, one of those sunk in the river. The Santa Fe
What?
Mikado.
Oh,
Well,
Great area.
Great area, yes. 70.30.
93.5.
wow. And yeah, there are 20 points on the board.
I would like to switch with Kaiser,
You
please.
want to call a timeout? You mean?
Yes.
All right. So you guys are in the lead. You get the option to switch first. So you would like to switch. Now we'll
Yes.
give the question to Milky's team. Would you guys like to switch?
Brian, it's up to you.
So you're saying me? Switch to me? Is that what you're saying?
It's up to you.
I think
Oh,
he's
up
saying
to
it's
me whether or not we
switch.
switch? Okay,
All right. So
you know what? I'm gonna take the reins.
okay.
Okay.
Now it's Kaiser versus Brian.
Ooh-hoo-hoo.
So does this mean I call the first stat?
No, they were calling, so you continue calling.
Okay, driver diameter.
Oh, for God's sake!
Goddamn. Madman.
The funny part is, I would have tied with both of the other engines in this. 63.
96.
Oh my God!
Oh,
Okay,
Big
let's
wheel,
see
keep
here.
on turning. All right. By the way, Ford, you're now in charge of keeping track of. Jesus Christ, guys! I freaking burnt. Ford, you're now in charge of keeping track of the called stats. By the way.
Yep. I just realized. I think I might have accidentally changed the link on Kaiser's name to mine by accident because I didn't realize I was clicking on his instead of mine.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
did
I
in
was
fact do
wondering
that.
why you didn't have a link.
congratulations.
Hold on, I'll fix part of that at least, but you're gonna need to get Kaiser's link back. Actually, hit Control Z for it.
Or that will start going and killing all
Oh
the
wait,
stuff
sorry, the
off in me.
stats because he was keeping track of stuff. Never mind.
No, I hadn't actually put it down yet. Somebody else typed in called for driver diameter.
This was the first.
Yeah,
thing...
but it's gonna do all the other stuff. Oh,
no, it should only undo the stuff that you've done.
Yeah, and it seems to have gone back.
It did work.
Okay.
Aha, magic.
Yeah.
This reminds me of the time that I showed my project manager what Control Shift T does, and she thought I was a miracle worker. For those who don't know, it reopens closed tabs.
Whoa. Okay.
Okay, so the next thing I'm going to call is, let's go with engine wheelbase.
For God's
That's not what I was expecting. 24.83.
18.
Oh, okay.
God.
Oh, okay. I thought I was thinking driver wheelbase.
The single driver is so big it's 18 feet
I was
in
gonna say,
diameter.
wait, how did that happen?
How could this happen? What dark science has been invented for this?
Let's go with weight on drivers.
133,000.
35,840.
Oh, for God's sake.
Jesus Christ.
Engine weight.
Oh no. 173,000.
93,408.
We are getting beaten to the ground.
This is oof. Hey, I
That's
mean,
hilarious.
Kaiser and Fort were here for the test. They know how to play this game. You beat them up with the big engine, and if you manage to survive all the way to 20 points, then you switch to the little engine, or
And
something
have
like
them
that.
mop up.
Yeah.
Combat
Yes, that-
supremacy.
There is definitely a meta here. We just haven't figured out what it is yet.
They have.
Like people
I
are gonna
think the-
crack the code of how to play this game, just like people have sort of cracked how to play Royales.
Okay. I wonder if this will work. Driver wheelbase.
Yeah, it'll work.
Yeah.
Oh.
14.5.
0.
So, yeah, like 6 inches.
Tiny.
0.6 inches.
0.6 inches. Yeah, exactly.
Literal petty.
What next?
Okay, let's see here. Can't call that. Can't call that. It's like there's 2 stats on my sheet that I can't call whatsoever. Let's see. I would have won that.
Ooh, I just almost codified something that is going to be really dangerous in Royales going forward. And I'm going to write it down in between, but I'll explain when we get there.
Oh no.
Okay. Overall wheelbase.
And 54.25.
47.50.
That
And-
was closer than I thought.
Yeah, well, see, it doesn't look as big as it is because it looks like a small locomotive. Then you remember that it's 7 feet wide.
No, that's the
Wide
thing
fitness.
though, because his engine wheelbase was like so short. So his tender must be absurdly long.
I
or
mean,
at
his
least the same
tender is
length as
just
mine.
like 3/4 the length of his engine because his engine is really stubby.
Oh.
That's the thing with broad gauge. Broad gauge was you were supposed to mount the boiler and pistons and all that as low as possible, get a low center of gravity so you could go faster.
In
In theory, anyway.
In theory.
Yeah, they didn't quite work
Wait
it
a
out yet.
minute.
At that time, though, there were at the time, or at least Iron Duke's era, broad gauge was going faster than standard gauge.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
'cause you have more power behind it.
I wouldn't say that.
Okay, so I don't know what to call. I
Well,
guess check.
I know what you should call.
Get a
Like,
call.
there's a lot of stats you could do.
Can't
Check
do
the
those
list.
two.
You're up against a modern Canadian machine. You're light. You're kind of stubby. You're
Yeah, but he doesn't have all his stats, I'm gonna guess.
Yeah, I don't have all of them.
oof.
I'm gonna go for it. I don't know if it'll work or not. Axle loading.
Oh, I guess it worked. I don't have it.
Okay, Milky, do you have it?
Do I have it? That is a great question. I gotta go back to my sheet. No, I don't.
Neither of you have axle loading. Alright, you're gonna have to call something else, Kaiser.
Okay. Note that down as called.
Yeah,
so
note
I
it down as
accidentally
like called or
recall it.
uncalled.
Already did.
Mm,
Yeah, I'm gonna have to make a couple notes on the
Wow. Okay.
let's just go with it and see how this turns out. Power MT.
oh boy.
715.09.
It was a mistake.
I've lost. 539.96.
Did you
Oh,
say
okay.
539?
All right.
Yeah.
It is now.
That was way more than I thought it would be.
Yeah, it is. It is a considerable amount more than you'd expect. But then again, these engines are, wide. Uh, this is what is this engine called? This is wide Buckley.
Yeah.
So Brian, would you like to keep it or would you like to change
I
locomotives?
think I'm gonna keep it because I'm gonna try and
Yes.
use some of my.
You can wreck house.
Hang on, is Kaiser still defending?
Kaiser is still defending.
Yes. Go.
Okay.
Kill him.
Builder.
Builder.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Is it GWR?
It's Swindon, but okay.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much GWR.
Uh,
Like even if we were using my Royale logic that for Triple B, which is coming soon but also not coming soon, you would still be less than me because I'm Montreal.
Yeah.
Montreal Locomotive works.
yeah, Montreal is better than the GWR.
Can I
I'll
posit
hear-
a suggestion
Uh-oh.
to our wayward travelers? Kaiser, you may not want to defend anymore.
They can't.
We can't
they
switch
can't
until
change
we
that.
get a point.
Kaiser's stuck
Okay.
defending.
Yeah,
So,
get rid.
Can they
Valve
not
Gear.
call a timeout?
No, the timeout was already called.
Oh,
At
Valve
20
Gear.
points.
I've been saying Valve here.
Okay, Valve
Oh.
Gear.
I bet you can't guess.
It's probably like Gooch.
It is Gooch.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Because Gooch designed this locomotive.
Wally.
Oh, man.
Wally.
Outside Wally.
Nice.
Ratio of
Inside
driving
Gooch, that's a
wheelbase
lot
to
more-
engine wheelbase.
What?
Ratio of driving wheelbase to overall engine wheelbase.
I don't have that stat.
No,
Ooh.
no. Because you're a single driver engine, it counts as infinity. Because you have divided by 0.
No, your
Ooh.
wheelbase is like
Congratulations,
0.06, isn't it? It exists, but
holds
it's
up
just-
that side.
Yeah, but it's that wheelbase divided by the driver wheel. Oh wait, sorry.
the driver wheelbase
driver
does
divided
exist.
by
It's not
overall.
Oh yeah,
zero,
sorry. It's driver.
just
It's driver
over
divided
zero.
by overall. My bad. So then it's 0,
which is smaller,
which is
not better.
not better. Thank you. I was like, how does
0.58 for me.
I know the logic works out. How does it work out? How does the math work here? Because I need to.
Ellis, maybe don't be half asleep while doing this.
Yeah. Well,
0.01
that's
divided
easy.
by
That's-
whatever his engine wheelbase was.
I mean, 1 second. Tyler,
Yes.
hi pot, meet kettle. Anyway, all right, Brian. There are 30 points on the board now, by the way.
Okay, what was I gonna do next? Oh yeah, El Samelio's weight computation.
Oh, right. We got to
Uh,
go into the local rail sheet to do the math.
Yep.
All right,
Okay,
weight on
wait,
drivers divided by
fine.
engine weight.
Wait, is this the old
Yes.
sheet?
It still exists. Come along, wayward travelers. Put in your stats.
I think the new one is called Loco Royale Scorecard, and this is just called Loco Royale. Or some such thing. Alright, so I see 0.77 for Brian. And Kaiser is typing.
My guess is like 0.3.
That's probably not good. Maybe like 0.4 for being generous.
You say that it's gonna be like 0.8 or something.
Oh! 0.38. Okay, well
What do you know? You were both right.
well I was wrong because I went over, so Price is Right rules. Alright.
Man.
It's 10 to 21. Brian wins. Now what?
I have a question.
What's that?
For stats that were called earlier but couldn't be answered, can we do them now?
If they were called earlier but they couldn't be answered, then you can't call them because you don't have them.
Yeah.
I have something. It's just it wasn't able to be called earlier. Oh, actually, wait. He didn't call it because. Oh yeah. So I can call this tender fuel capacity because I'm coal, or at least it is coal. In real
And I'm
life,
gonna
I'm
guess
not.
that Kaiser doesn't have it.
I don't have this.
Whoop.
I
And
have tender water capacity, but I don't have tender fuel capacity.
and Milky, you're. Or sorry, Fort, you are oil.
Yeah, I'm oil. I'm
Okay.
oil firing all the way.
Okay, never
Normal.
mind. Never mind. Crap. What do I do now?
I don't know what do you
I'm
do.
guessing that because of that, I can't. I'm guessing I can't call like 10. Nope, I can't call tender load.
Well, you can call stuff that one of them has. You know.
Do you have a booster? Oh wait, no, you don't.
Dad.
Actually, hang on. I'm still going against Kaiser, right? Or has it
Yes.
switched?
You're
Yeah.
going
Yes,
against Kaiser.
as it is.
Okay. High pressure cylinders.
Okay, let's see how bad this goes.
Joke's on
18
you,
by
Kaiser.
24.
Oh.
18
What'd you
by
say?
24.
Can you repeat that, please?
18 by 24.
Okay. 20 by 26.
Okay. Yeah. That's a point for Brian.
I was going to joke and say, joke's on you, Kaiser doesn't have high pressure cylinders.
Oof.
Yeah.
Which actually.
That's a roast and a half. He doesn't have flues.
No, he definitely doesn't.
And I
Dead.
know that the Selkirks
Look,
are
I'll just
without a
say-
doubt smaller, so I'm not going to risk that.
Year has
Um,
already been called. I will just tell you, this locomotive was built in 1871. Tubes did not, or
1912.
flues did not exist.
I was
Uh,
2 years before World War One.
well,
We get it, you're both old.
Are you gonna call something, Brian, or are you gonna go to style points?
I'm just looking around
Or
for stats that haven't
you
been
could
called.
switch to Milky, I suppose. But
can't call that.
I need to get my timers out.
That's been called, but for some reason nobody marked that down. Can't call that because then it will switch to Selkirk. Wait a second. Firebox area.
Okay, let me look and see here. Box area 137.
183.
That was closer than I would have expected.
Yeah.
What do you
Same.
expect? It's 7 feet.
130.
I know. Okay.
And
Now what, Brian?
because I can't really do anything else, I'm just gonna switch to style points.
Okay, style points. I'll let you go ahead first, because you're on the losing team. What's something your team has more of than the other team?
Ditch lights.
That is true. You do have more ditch lights than them. Kaiser's team.
I have good rearward visibility, better than any of yours
You
because
definitely do.
Yeah.
Yeah. No denying that.
Oh, tender. That's sure.
Yeah.
I mean, the two. I mean, all the Canadians do kind of have. Well, I guess it's more so. My engine has like a. Oh wait, no, never mind. I thought I had a different kind of tender.
All right.
No, it does.
Well,
Both of us have a pretty similar tender in the fact that they don't have very good rearward visibility.
Yeah.
Nobody here but Kaiser has the best
Yeah.
Exactly.
visibility.
All right.
Yeah.
Another point, please. From anyone.
let's see here. All my brass fittings.
You do have a lot of nice, fancy brass fittings, more than
Okay,
anyone else.
brass
Sure.
boy. Yeah.
Painted
Right.
green. The whole locomotive's painted green and red.
That combined with Milky's paint definitely wins out over the other ones.
Yeah.
Would I possibly be able? I know that both me and Milky are both semi-streamlined, but could I get a point for having
Sorry.
nicer looking semi-streamlining?
I called it Milky's. Um, um,
Because I'm looking at it, and the P2G, it kind of looks derpy, doesn't it?
It's got the streamlining is like that because, well, they were designed for fast freight, but they were based on a class of Pacifics that had that streamlining.
yeah, I'm gonna go with no.
Okay.
It's a wash between the two teams who has better streamlining.
We don't respect
Embossed
Europeans in
and
this house.
lettered number plate.
I mean, I do, but
What
I'm going up against one.
did you say, Brian? Oh, you do have an embossed number plate. That is true.
With the letters.
Nobody else has one of those.
I
I
have
also
an
have
embossed
embossed
name
numbers on the
plate.
cab.
That's right. You do have an embossed nameplate.
See, my problem is here. I have one of the competitors is extremely close to me, so I have nothing that stands out.
You see,
hilarious.
I have thought this through.
Curse you, and
Canadian Pacific gods of style of Canada.
Rerailer on that tender.
Gods of style of
Yes.
Canada.
I also have a wee whale or a tender wee whale and
Yeah,
frog.
you guys have tender rerailing frogs.
Yeah.
I might need some help from a technical advisor by
Marker
looking at my
lights.
locomotive.
Here's an idea. You have a dial. You have a clock face.
He does have a clock
Dart.
face.
Yeah.
You know, your whole
Oh.
locomotive was built in the Victorian era, and I know it kind of needs to keep up the time, but a little absurd here, guys.
Wait a second.
Yeah,
I
the
just
cl-
remembered something. Hold on.
Um,
I need to find a picture of a certain engine in the H6G class. Oh wait, you said we're going with the specific engines we brought, right?
So yeah, whatever. 1392 is your engine.
Shit, never mind.
I
I was gonna pull up a picture of 1533, which was painted red.
Man, I
they
have
were red.
I have some style points in mind, but I'm gonna turn the
Can,
timer
can
over.
Brian? Oh wait, never mind.
Okay,
I
let's
don't
see
have
here.
that. Okay.
Did you get the point for the smoke box dart?
Yes.
Okay. I have something that nobody else has.
What's that?
I
Yeah.
have what's it called? Head codes. I have head code things.
Okay,
Okay.
that's the lamp placement, right?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
lamp placement things. I can place my lamp in multiple places and have multiple lamps.
That's
But
cool. I
mine are
suppose.
mine are for signaling rather than being seen by people.
Mhm.
We're going to counter that with we have more marker lights than you guys.
I already put that down
Oh,
for you
right.
guys actually.
Hold on.
How
Yeah,
about the
marker
fact
lights.
that How about the fact that Brian has a door on his cab?
Yeah, I was gonna say you guys definitely have more doors than the other team.
Oh, and we have more all-weather cabs.
Do you have an all-weather
think
cab,
that's-
Brian?
Hang on, I need a better picture.
I don't think he does. Does he?
He might.
I need to see. I need to
At
see
least
it.
some. Oh, wait, never mind. I was thinking of a different at 460 class. I think this
Oof.
doesn't have an all-weather cab.
No, it's just a very covered cab.
All-weather cabs are a wash between the two of you.
What was I thinking?
Alright.
How about more cab windows? Oh, never mind. I didn't have that. Never mind.
Wait a second. What about the
Oh wait, never mind. We still have more cab window shades
That is true.
because one is better than none.
You have more cab window
Just a
shades.
curtain
and
across the back of the
Toolbox
cab makes
on the
it
Tinder.
almost all-weather.
Does nobody
Have
else
a
have a
toolbox.
toolbox?
I have.
Or I
toolbox.
have two
I'm
toolboxes.
sure that I would have. But I
Pulling
don't know. I've never been in this one.
Yeah, I don't know about that. So, suppose I'll give the point for the toolbox.
polling pockets.
Polling pockets are a good
Pretty
one.
sure I'm the only
Yeah.
one here that has them.
Yep.
Yep.
So you get the point for that.
I guess
Flag
my
stands.
what's the
My
number? Oh, sorry, never mind.
I guess my brass stack cap will counts towards the brass parts.
Oh, Yeah, you already called that.
Um.
Man, I do love this
What did
locomotive,
Brian
though.
just say? Oh, flag holders.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose that the Brit doesn't have any flag holders.
I have a live steam locomotive
Oh, okay.
and several mass-produced model kits.
Um,
I also have I also
I have
have
mass-produced models.
gauged models.
Or
does
they're
does
I
Milky
have
have?
models, and I have live steam.
Oh, okay. Does Milky have
Ooh.
models though?
Yes.
Okay, so
I don't know about live steam, but it definitely has models.
models are a wash and live steam is a wash.
I hate to give a point to the opposition, but I do know of one kind of model that Fort has that none of us have.
Oh, brass.
No, not brass is the same thing as.
Oh, right, yeah.
no,
You're talking about like virtual, like in train
East Ireland
simulator.
trains model,
AML.
yeah.
I have a trains model too because I was
Oh,
messing
no.
with it the other day.
Oh my god, of course.
Oh no.
I'm not
It's
adding.
ancient,
I'm
but
not
I have
adding.
one.
I'm not adding 7-foot gauge to Tolbrand. Nobody
I
asked.
haven't
No,
commissioned KNL to make the H6G yet.
All right. Well,
Tyler, you are now cursing. God damn it.
Bullying is fun, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
so-
They
Oh,
be damned.
oh man.
This is just fucking payback for driving you up a wall for all those royales. I swear.
Safety be damned.
All right.
Okay,
I'm gonna-
so.
I'm gonna call it here because it doesn't look like the.
Well, I have one more.
You have one more. You're 9 points behind.
Air ringer bell.
I have that.
And so does Milky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you
We
guys.
have more than you.
Yeah, they have more than your team.
I also had there was also a time where I could manually ring the bell.
I suppose. Yeah.
It was in movies.
Okay. Okay. Was the Selkirk
I
in any
currently
movies?
operate.
I
No,
don't think the
they're-
Selkirk was in any movie.
No.
Okay, so you got media points unless Kaiser can counter that.
Let me. I think.
Those grandpa was scrapped before movies, probably.
Yeah, I wouldn't
No,
expect.
they had movie cameras back then, but I remember seeing the replica.
Oh, well, that
In a
does not
movie.
count.
No.
Okay.
That
Well,
there is a replica.
I
anything
currently
else?
operate.
Okay, you currently operate.
I have the most surviving. Well, added up Milky, and I have the most
Yeah.
surviving members. I do believe we have, like, counting the specific, very specific classes. I have 2. Milky has 2.
I thought
I-
that
um,
had
Has
two.
2, and Kaiser has none.
I have the replica.
Yeah,
Not counting specific classes.
yeah, and I
think
could
have,
build
like, 15 or
you
something.
into 20 tomorrow, and
I know what I said at the top of the show,
Excellent
but we're
count.
actually going to disregard that point. You survive. This one, 5468, I guess doesn't, or does it?
It does. There are
Does?
2 of those surviving.
Okay, no,
5468 is one of them. The other is 5433.
Okay, so you guys do have 2 locomotives that survive, and the other team does not. The other team has just the one, although Kaiser has a replica that looks pretty cool.
So is that like 2 to 1.5?
It's 2 to 1. I'm not counting the replica as the same. We're not doing a ship of Theseus here.
We're not doing Lynn again.
Theseus, let's go.
All right. Anything else?
I don't know.
All right. Well, I'm going to call it there. Congratulations to Kaiser and Fort with the Selkirk and the
Congrats.
wide Buckley for winning the first official doubleheader. I will now
Really
open the
fun.
floor to discussion on who's going to go next.
Okay, Sprinkles
And
wants to
I'm
win the
going
team
to go
round.
get something to eat, and
Alright.
I will be back
Okay.
for probably the 3rd round.
All right, go
Um,
get something to eat.
I can
Well,
be here all night.
while you guys
Yeah,
all
I'm about 20, 30 minutes from my apartment. I'll try to get in for the 3rd round.
okay.
Okay,
Um,
that's fine.
Fire wins.
Yep, there's a
I'm
lad. I really want to go see it at some point. Oh wow, that's a Frisco more.
I'm not opposed to going again with maybe sprinkles.
The blue lad.
I'm gonna ask you guys to organize yourselves because I'm doing some updates to the rules right now.
Who wanna
Okay.
go?
Alright, I'm free to go in for the next round, so if anybody wants to partner with me, I can make an actual plan and bring something a bit better.
Yeah, we can have a little bit more time to plan this.
Alright, so, like,
And
real quick,
better
anybody
coordinate.
open to partner with me? I can go with Milky again if all push comes to shove.
Sprinkles said they want someone
Yeah.
to team with, so
I'll go with Milky.
I mean, I'm crazy enough to try to do this while
No.
driving.
Stop
No.
being here while you're
No.
driving.
no,
Hurt.
don't do don't do this.
No.
Fort,
Bad.
How about no?
Bonk.
Wait,
you
me?
there?
Yeah, sorry.
You want to do a Canadian team?
Sure. Do you want me to do the Selkirk again, or do you want me to, or can I switch?
We should change
I
it up.
think I've got an interesting plan. Plan, if you will.
Okay. I mean, message
I'm
me.
just
What is
coming
it?
up with it in my mind.
All right, so here's the biggest change that I just made because this is going to affect everything. Tender fuel capacity. When you call that now, if a contestant has a different type than called, it's considered no stat.
What if
So,
I have both?
so if you have both, you have both. But if you have, say in a Royale you have 3 coal-fired engines and 2 oil-fired engines. If the coal-fired engine is the one who calls the stat, the oil-fired engines get a 1. It's considered they don't have that stat.
Right.
The reason I'm changing it to that isn't really to mess with Local Royale, but it's to sort of codify things here so that you can call fuel, and if you call it against a locomotive that has oil, and if you have coal, it's considered that they don't have it, and it has to switch. Instead of making a specific note about how to call fuel in the doubleheader rules, I can change the rules to that, and it's a catch-all. Anyway, there were a couple other things that I needed to change. Tank engines are considered... Oh wait, yeah, ratio of driver wheelbase to overall engine wheelbase. This is not accurate. Single driver... Oh wait, sorry. No. All driver. All driver locos are considered to be 1.0, and thus first place 5 points. Tender loaded weight, tank engines are considered to have a 0 for considered to have a 0. Actually, yeah, 1.0. Single are 0. All driver locos are considered to be 1.0. Singles are considered to be 0 for the ratio of driver wheelbase to overall engine wheelbase. Driver wheelbase singles are considered to be 0. We never actually wrote that down, which those are important things to keep in mind.
Ford and I have come up with a plan.
Oh boy. I am fearful.
Why is it called Team 1 and Team A?
Because nobody wants to be Team 2 or Team B.
Well, come on,
Yeah.
me and
I want to
Kaiser
be the
won at
B
team.
team.
Not the Bs.
Not the
Not
bee.
the base.
Alright, so I marked that down, which is important. The other thing I needed to change
Dude,
was here.
if B team gets sent in, that just means A team failed. Isn't that
Yeah.
epic?
If the opposing locomotive does not have a value for games that team's other locomotive does, the opposing team must switch to that locomotive and use that value. If not, it may not be called.
I think I found my engine. Yes. Yes. It's so dumb that it might just work.
I've made the appropriate rule changes. All right, so what have we got for teams?
Well, I mean, I just realized we need to empty out the called section.
Then do it.
Oh yeah,
That's
that does need to be done. Thank you for taking care of that. I'm going to give priority to people that have played the least. So Sprinkles, you're definitely in. If you want to be in.
Yep, I'm in.
All right. So are we team 1 or team 8? Oh, okay.
Oh, are you going to be with Sprinkles?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
we DM'd.
All right, Sprinkles and Milky.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm not letting Vert do it from his car. Ace and Tyler, you guys are up. If you want to play.
Wait, what?
I was assuming that
Wait,
I
I
wasn't
fired-
getting in this round, so I hopped in a match of War Thunder.
Oof.
This does feel like
Okay.
an epic man cave. All right, well, Tyler, do you want it?
How'd
you do that?
I guess why not?
In
Who
other
would I be
words,
with?
what I'm hearing is that there is a space open.
There is a space open.
Did you just? Nope, you didn't do that.
Is it gonna be Tyler and
No,
Kaiser? Or
I typed in then started playing.
Hmm.
I mean, I thought I was going to be playing with
what?
Oh, with Brian. So.
Oh, with
Yeah,
Brian?
I thought they were
okay,
playing something.
okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Brian and Ford. All right.
Because they all
Herp the
organize.
Brian?
I
Question mark?
think they pretty much all organized themselves while you were away. If
No,
I
that's
remember.
that's a good thing.
Right?
Yeah, it's good.
I just was not in the loop.
A horrible thing. They're plotting behind his back. They're gonna murder him.
I mean, please.
All right.
All right. Can I have the images of locomotives, please?
Hold
that's
up.
not- that's
I
not
need
right.
to scroll through my phone.
Ignore the fact that this is in the United States. This is definitely a Canadian engine, despite the fact that it was built for the U.S. Army.
Yeah.
Oh, Dollywood.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Hollywood, if you could.
I like that. I like that. The resounding "oh" noise coming.
I
From
saw an
every-
article on
Come on,
Dollywood
Nate.
earlier.
I mean,
80.
actually, wait. You know what? I think I'm gonna not go with the 192 because, to be honest, I think I'd feel better going with number one, saluting our fallen comrade Braden, and number
He's
two,
not dead.
embracing
You're
the meme that is, you know, they were green. Queetsy 190.
Oh god.
Oh,
Still white passing Yukon, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
American. Woo.
Yep.
Canadian.
No.
White Pass in Yukon is Canadian, at least half. Sure, this is a U.S.
No.
Army engine, but it was owned by the White Pants.
It's
Okay,
yeah.
but
No, we're
they're-
not. No.
I'm not sure about that.
Milky.
Their corporate headquarters is in the United States, is it not? It's
All
a
the
US
all
owned
the
company?
locomotives and rolling stock are owned by a Canadian company.
A Canadian sub.
Yeah.
Yes.
Canadian sandwich.
Brian.
Oh,
IRL. Milky, can I have a photo of the J.W. Bowker, please?
Yeah.
Oh no.
This is a
Yes.
We need the J.W. Bowker versus the thing Kaiser just brought.
Oh god.
No.
That's a locomotive versus.
Yeah.
Or
Locomotive
fellas, hear me out. Hear me out.
Yes.
Oh no.
Hey guys, there I am.
Try to beat the hurricane.
No.
Took you-
No,
no.
I don't want to hear about the hurricane. Thank you.
oh God.
See, the reason I had to go with either the Dollywood or the Tweetsy is because the only one that's left on the White Pass in Yukon looks like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sad.
Yeah, that's
Rest
bad.
in peace, 195.
And there's one in the Weber that's worse than that too.
Milky, did you take this picture?
There is?
Yes.
Nice.
I know, I cut off the front.
Snowplow.
You could have stood 1 foot to the right.
Oh yeah, so JW Bowker is now an 040.
Yep.
Or is it a 1 or is it a 0.540?
It's
Is it
got
half of a
it's got the
wheel
biggest flat spots you've ever seen. They're half the wheel.
It is semicircles.
Okay. All right, so let's see. Oh, we have
Heads.
Sprinkles. Heads or tails?
Heads.
Okay. Flipping a coin. It's heads. Sprinkles, who on your team is going to go first?
I guess I will.
Okay.
I
Brian,
think there's some shenaniganry going on right now.
who on your team is going to receive?
Well, given that it's given that Frisco, given that 4500
Yeah,
is a
Frisco and
northern.
He is going to go first.
Okay. Sprinkles?
Also, I think that there's some shenaniganry going on here because
Mhm.
the coin flip has always been heads.
Also,
It's been
Barbara.
heads
called-
2 out of 2 times.
2 out of
Double
2.
header.
100%.
Boo.
So who am I up against?
I can't stop
Me.
coughing for some reason.
Oh, against
Hold
4.
on, hold on, I need an epic cough drop. Back.
484 versus 484.
North.
Anyway,
Hold
for,
Oh,
Northern versus the Great White North.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Loco base ID.
Loco base ID. I just
Oh,
gotta
boy.
I just gotta make sure I'm looking
Maybe.
at the right one because I have 6 columns here I have to look at.
We'll
Oh,
choose the right
no.
one.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So
Let's see.
mine is 241.
Oh, mine's 277. Dang it.
Ooh.
Okay, 241 score 1 for Fort's team.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Tyler.
Next call.
And Milky, please keep track of the stats being called.
okay, what was the stat called previously?
Loco base ID, I already put it in as called.
okay,
okay.
dope. I will keep track.
Tyler's doing it. Tyler, is it
Okay.
just a different format, or are you just awake for these now?
You ran off to get a cough drop, and I was
Yes,
like, okay.
I did.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
I'm going to call. Okay. I know.
This
Oh,
thing
God,
looks
I don't
so
act-
stupid.
Hey, Fort,
Why
can I
is
give
it-
a suggestion?
Yes, sure.
What's the chassis code for the second generation Miata?
I don't know
And-
cars.
NB.
Oh my god. You people.
You car people.
What?
Car
I didn't-
foamer.
NB. What are those the initials for?
I'm getting the timers out.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm
Good.
getting me mallet.
I'm sorry. I'm having a.
Fort, just call it.
Oh, okay, that's it. Yeah, number built. I'm
25.
sorry that. 25.
Okay.
Nice.
Oh,
Receiving team. Would you
a
like
lot less.
Sprinkles? Would you like to have Milky break the tie?
No.
Okay.
No.
I wonder why.
Brian, what is your value for number built?
You see, here's the
I have
problem.
made the grave mistake.
The number in class is 11, but because they built like a bunch of these for other lines that the U.S. Army was like operating on, nobody knows because the number is too big.
I count just the
What
white
does the
patch
stat sheet
of
say?
them.
Okay, so there's 11 of these.
Yeah.
Okay, 11.
Oh,
And that's
so,
what you
I
got.
win?
Yes,
Live by
Sprinkles
that
wins.
page, Simon.
Nice.
All right.
Back to me.
Damn.
So what was that number in class?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought that would work. Sorry.
Oh, that was number. That was
number
number.
built.
No.
Number built.
Number in class.
25.
25.
Wait, Fort, why did you answer
Oh,
that?
God! No! Again, I did the thing where I was reading the wrong column.
Oh God.
So
Wait.
what are you?
Yeah,
What?
but for it.
Here we go again.
I did not. No, there were
Thank you,
65
Bert.
of me built, not 25.
Oh, for God's sake! All right.
Or-
Uh,
All right.
I was a little confused when I heard 25 come out of both of you because I'm like, I swear the
Oh
Sienna
my
was
God.
bigger. And
Okay.
it was.
Okay. So scratch that. The score
Okay.
is 2-0. Fort is calling against Sprinkles.
I swear, I need to put this tape like construction paper onto my
No,
screen or something.
The freaking the horse blinder things.
Yeah.
exactly.
This is why we make the trading cards.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Or get a trading card like I did.
Yeah.
Just have the
Yeah,
same
but
number
you
in both
lost
slots.
it.
Because there's only 2 engines on it.
No, you can't do ratio. That wouldn't really work at all.
L plus ratio.
Valkyr.
Are we not the same thing?
Well, that's why I'm saying I couldn't. I wouldn't do it because it would be a tie.
Well, you don't know that for certain.
It kind of looks like
It could
the
be
same
off
thing.
by like 0.02 or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe in you, Ford.
That makes one of us.
Ouch.
I will subtract that believe in you.
I unbelieve in
jeez.
you.
One negative believe in you.
Get the timer out.
Yeah, the timer's going down. Ford, man.
I know. Okay, you know what? I'm doing flues.
Okay.
Blues.
Two
Wait,
negative
is
believe
this the one where we go to the other sheet?
No.
No.
I have 63 and they're 5.5 inches.
Ha! Yes, good pick. I have 145 4 inches.
What in the world?
4-inch
4
flues?
inch blues?
Okay. Also,
I've
never mind.
never heard of that number.
I'm not even gonna touch it. Just,
Don't.
Was everyone else screaming internally while
Yes.
Fort was trying to pick a stat?
Yes, I was.
Okay.
I was.
Okay. Good. I'm glad we're all on the same page. Or Fort,
I
pick
mean,
something
I
else.
loudly whispered him a stat, but he didn't hear. Still won though, so proud of you.
Okay, wait. Well, actually, wait. Since it wasn't actually called before, number in class.
Thank you.
You win it. You win it. Next one.
I would also like to subtract that proud of you. Anyway,
There is no being proud. There is only communism.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
proud of us.
I'm trying to give my man moral support.
No.
My
Denied.
bestest friend got removed from this thing because his power went out. I gotta support somebody.
Denied.
All right. From here on out, Fort will be referred to as your man. You're welcome.
That's not what I meant.
That's
turn, your
too
man.
late. All right, Fort.
Oh God. It's an American engine. I'm a Canadian engine. I'm going to go with engine wheelbase.
Okay.
Hold on.
Don't see the correlation
Engine.
there, but okay.
46.5 feet.
43.83.
Okay. Somehow that worked.
Explodes. Just slightly.
Used the wrong equation, got the right answer.
Yeah.
How?
I wish I could hide. I wish I could hide this bottom bar. I wish I could stop coughing. What the hell? I've just got a little fry in my throat. I can't.
Okay.
Can't get rid of it.
Following my logic from my previous train of thought. Overall wheelbase
92.33.
82.4.
That is actually a
Good.
substantial difference.
My tenders are massive.
See? I'm not the only one. Who was that?
It's contagious.
It's me.
Internet COVID.
Oh no.
No, I had a cold like a week ago.
Oh my.
Cold vid.
My.
Alright, Fort, pick something else.
Hurricane River.
Okay, wait. You see, my thing is like I have a feeling I know what stats I can pick, but then I'd start picking from Brian's bowl. That's the thing.
I mean, if you can win a stat, you can win a stat, but that is a good thought.
So keep in mind, you're not really picking from my bowl because the JW Balker would cuck me in those.
Okay, I'm going
Valkyr
to go.
boy.
Valkyr boy.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with total engine and tender weight.
Oh, this is not good. 815,340.
678,300.
Alright.
I'm a chonkers.
I'm a chunk.
You see what we've done is we've had the roles reverse of the big and small engines.
The thing that's great, by the way, is part of the strategy that I hadn't really anticipated when I was writing the rules out is how quickly you can get certain stats off the board before your opponent can call them with their best engine.
Yeah.
That's something that I wasn't even
Prime
thinking
example
about.
happening
Yeah,
here.
I wasn't even thinking about that when I was developing this game type, and that is such an important aspect that just went right over my head. I will also divulge. I know we're just having a little time out here, but I will also divulge that I went through so many different iterations of, okay, how do I set the rules up for when people can change Locomotive? And I went through so many iterations and eventually came back to the first idea I had, which is when you get the ball back. You know, when you win a stat against a person that's called it. And I just went, okay, well, expand that to whenever you win a stat and shrink it to only if you're not in the lead. And I think that, that was the best idea I had. Anyway, Fort, call something.
I'm going to go with, if I'm looking at the right one, which yes I am, thankfully. I'm going to look at fluent tube length.
Okay.
Didn't we already do that?
No, we did flues.
Length. Flu tube length, 20.
21 and a half.
So wait.
Also, Brian, I
What?
hope you're keeping track of things.
Yeah, I don't know why somebody put down tubes instead of flues, but I just put that down, corrected that.
All right. Time is going.
Lost by a foot. There's so many. Can I request one? Ratio of driving wheelbase to overall engine wheelbase?
I mean, you can. You
Yeah,
can say it.
okay. You know what? I actually want to see where this one goes, given my smaller size. Ratio of driving wheelbase to overall engine wheelbase.
0.41.
Wow, really?
Mm-hmm.
0.44.
Oh wow, that's actually decently
I
better.
just went.
Okay.
I just.
Fort.
Wait.
That's weight computation.
Yeah, what he said.
For God's sake.
Which
All
one?
right, LSTML's weight computation. This we do have to go to the other sheet for.
Thanks.
Woo. Wheelbase ratio plays into this. That's why I was suggesting.
While they type that in, I will also mention that this game is structured such that, unlike Locomotive Versus, most of the stats get called. Locomotive, there are about 40 stats on a stat sheet. And in a Locomotive Versus, if you're playing smart, you can get away with, not calling almost half of those. Or just
Broke the format.
Not having them called at all. Yeah, thank you for breaking my format. And here, the idea is to get as many of those stats called as possible. I mean, the bar being at 30 has a little bit of wiggle room for stuff that people don't have, or stuff that's ties, however rare that might be. But still sort of forces us to get through most of the stats, which in turn is most likely to force an engine to lose at least one and turn it over. Oh, why is it totally broken?
Because I copied something.
Oof.
I can't believe you've done this. All right, so whose is whose?
I'm the top one.
I'm
Okay.
the bottom one.
Fort's is 0.61, and Sprinkles is 0.59, so Fort wins that one.
Also, Fort, you now know that you win those two stats.
True.
Wait, so did we call,
Check the list.
yeah, okay, so I'm gonna call weight on drivers.
Okay?
Do I have to say it?
Yes.
Yeah. 280,340.
246,100. Engine weight.
474,040.
400,300.
Wow. All right.
Wait
You're
a
so
second.
kind.
Yeah. Tender loaded weight.
Tender loaded weight.
All right.
341,300.
278,000.
Wow.
So tiny.
Fort's shutting him down.
So, just
Yeah,
call the next one. Come on. You know how this works, bud. Just call the one right under it.
Yeah. Wait, I thought that one was already
That
called.
one was already called.
Oh,
yeah,
it was?
exactly.
Oh. It was.
I mean, there's one stat that not everybody has, but I don't think you have it.
You'd be surprised what I do and don't have.
Okay, so I'm minimum weight of rail
117.
103.
In fairness, Milky was out there with a ruler.
Wait a minute, that hasn't been called?
A
What?
ruler and a kitchen scale.
Yeah.
Wait. Valker Bros.
Yeah.
A power MT?
Power MT.
That's like at the bottom.
Yeah. 938.72.
Oh, thank goodness. 1,393.29.
Okay.
What's funny is that mine is higher than both of yours.
What?
15,050. Or I mean, 1,550.
It's insane.
Why did I say
Okay.
1,000?
Wait, what is...
15,000.
I forget, what is power
1550.
MT like?
I
What's
think it's
power
engine
It
efficiency.
benefits smaller engines.
It's
Okay.
no, hold on. Let me just. It is basically a power to weight ratio. It's power L1 divided by the axle loading.
Oh, okay.
Average after
Average
loading,
after loading, which
actually.
is how they get away with it on stats on engines that don't have an axle loading listed.
Yep.
Anyway,
Okay, and I'm going to continue that train of thought. Power L1.
29,842.
Wow, okay, that's a lot worse than I thought. 38,883.
Ford says, I'm going to score on you, and also I'm going to dunk on you. Wow, that was a lot worse than I thought. Man, your engine sucks.
No, it's like
Your northern's worse than my northern.
No, it's like it's more to the fact the last time I brought this into a Royale, I was completely trounced because all the other northerns that were brought were so much better in almost every aspect.
You're tiny compared to me, I guess.
All the other boys were so much bigger than me.
Me right now.
Hey, Fort,
Skulls, I'm in danger.
We're over
The other people?
Fort.
Yes?
If I remember correctly, when you're over 15 points, you can switch, right?
No, you have to be over 20.
20.
20.
Oh.
Yeah, there has to be a
21.
combined 20 points. And that's why I'm kind of worried, where it's like, what are you going to call?
Yeah, he's beating you up on weight stats. What are you going to do?
Yeah, that's the thing. The JW Valkyr will cuck me in all the weight stats, but I'm stronger.
Yeah, but they don't have to switch. If you guys switched, then they could just be like, oh, we're going to keep the Northern and just, roll all over your, little narrow gauge thing. But, Fort, you got to call something.
Yeah, I know, I'm thinking.
Well, the timer says get done thinking.
Forfeiting the round.
Fort thought too hard and had a brain aneurysm.
Yeah.
They're the
Firebox area.
Firebox area.
Firebox area. Where is that?
That's a stat that I don't have.
524.5 feet squared. No, not squared. Yes, squared?
414.
Square feet.
Yeah, square feet.
Square feet.
All right, so
I have it back.
Wrinkles wins one finally, legitimately this time.
Oh
not
my
because
god.
Of, not because of
Give it.
Fort's mistake. It is 1-16. Are you going to keep the ball, Wrinkles?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it.
Yeah, I figured you would. Go ahead.
Tender fuel capacity.
This was
Oh,
one
boy.
this one was one I wasn't looking forward to.
Name what you got.
Tender fuel capacity, 18 tons. What do you get?
24 tons.
Holy cow.
Nice.
What do you
Okay.
mean? I'm big.
Check it out.
Tender water capacity.
Oh,
13
boy.
13,920.
18,000.
I'm going to be honest. If you fumbled that and immediately went back to Fort, I would laugh so hard.
That's over 10 times my tender capacity.
Your tender capacity is 3 barrels.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and like 3 pieces of wood.
yeah. Anyway,
Oh, no.
Sprinkles.
Someone's not filling in the sheet.
Okay, that's
High
your
pressure cylinders.
All right.
We have to go back on the other
not
page.
not
don't we?
necessarily. Read them off first.
For me, it's 25.5 by 30.
28 by 31.
Yeah. So Sprinkles wins that by a wide margin.
Tractive effort.
56,786.
71,181. Big chunk.
Yeah. No kidding.
What did I do? Tractive effort, right?
Yep. Is Milky? Are you keeping track of these?
No.
Not. Booster.
I do not have one.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Okay,
guess that
recall.
White Pass over here doesn't have a booster either. So
I'd be surprised if any
ahead.
3-foot engine had a booster.
If you
that
pee,
built
I
North
go
American
0.1 miles faster.
yeah, go pick something else, Sprinkles. It's not callable.
Did chapter breath get called?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, it was literally
Yes, I called it. Boiler pressure.
250.
255.
Oh, come on.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
By the way, we're over
Um,
20 points, just to let everybody know.
Nice. Wait,
Oh,
didn't we
that
already
creep-
call Firebox area?
Yeah, that was the one I lost on.
Okay.
So great
I'm
area.
sorry, I've been going through my Baldwin spec sheet to find more staff.
Mm.
Yeah,
I've been writing an email to Steve.
Yeah.
yeah. My great area is 84.3.
Mine's 88.
Okay.
When this baby hits 88 square feet of great area, you're gonna see some
no.
serious shit.
Evaporative heating surface.
Evaporative heating surface, 4,080.
4,766. Superheating surface.
1,835.
1,508.
Wait, what?
What?
Hold on.
Wait, you just
Roll
what?
back. Did you just say 1,800?
Yes, 1,835. How is it that low when I have so many flues?
What do you mean that low?
You just beat him.
You just beat me.
Wait, what was his number? I heard him say like it was like 4,000 or
That was
something.
1,500.
1508.
Oh wow, okay.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
The white pass got to come out.
Wait, I forget. Can we switch?
I mean, you guys call a timeout if you want.
Yeah, Brian, do you want to take over?
You know what? Sure, because I think I can actually cuck him in like one or two things.
All right. So
Please do.
the leading team
should've
has
called
elected
that.
to switch locomotives. Team 1, would you guys like to switch locomotives?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Huh. I'm actually surprised on that.
Yay, I can be a character and not an NPC.
Yeah.
Heating surface divided by cylinder volume.
I choose you.
Evaporative heating surface divided by cylinder volume.
Yes.
I don't have that.
What? What?
Hey,
do you-
you wanna? I'll break the tie.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. How do you not? Do you?
It's
Which-
just simple math.
Which one of those things don't you have? Oh, you don't. Oh, okay. Okay. I see.
It has no
Yeah.
summary
Well,
here.
there's your problem. Okay.
Here's your problem. Yeah.
Milky, would you like Sprinkles to break the tie? Or sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. I should be asking Sprinkles. Do you have this stat?
Yes. I have
Okay.
every
So then we
stat.
have to switch to Sprinkles. What is it?
215.75.
Aha! 245.26.
Okay.
Gosh dang it.
It's 18 to 8. Well, now you're calling against Sprinkles.
Oh no.
Milky got to be in. He got to be
That,
in for one call.
that was
in-
my
He
Oh,
was
wait,
in
wait,
for
that-
one
It
scene.
still works.
that was
still
my
works, though,
cameo.
Cameo.
Factor of adhesion.
Oh no. Where is that? Is that up here?
Yeah.
It's up here.
Just above heating ability.
Above here.
Who wrote cucked? For
3.94.
Hang on, what?
3.94.
That was closer than I thought, but I still win 3.97.
Okay.
Oh.
Wait, is higher number better?
It's actually
Closest to 4.
yeah, closest to
Closest.
4 is better.
Oh. Okay.
I
I'm
need to
surprised
write
this
that
didn't get called driver wheelbase.
Because I would have lost it.
By 4, I mean.
19.25.
13 and a half.
Okay.
Oh, wait. I just won that.
No, you didn't.
No.
Oh, wait.
Smaller
Oh, wait.
is-
Wheelbase?
13 and a half.
Wheelbase.
Smaller is better.
Wheel.
Yeah.
Wheelbase. I called the wrong one, but I would have lost
would-
anyway.
Oh.
Wait, what was your Sprinkles? What was yours?
Oh, wait. Driver wheelbase?
Yeah.
19.25.
Oh my god, we have the
13.5.
same driver wheelbase.
Oh my
Ooh.
god.
Same train.
Holy shit. By the way, I'm home.
Okay.
Hi.
Oh no.
Oh no.
See about this.
Uh-oh. Oh dear.
Oh no.
Okay, I'm actually scared about this one. You know, I'm going to go for a less risky one that's still kind of scary. Builder.
Builder.
Baldwin.
Shit. Several, but it's Baldwin.
What about this one specifically? Do you know?
190?
It looks like
It's Baldwin. It has a circle plate.
yeah, it looks like Baldwin to me.
Is there a tiebreaker here?
It do be a Baldwin.
I have to ask this. Sprinkles, would you like Milky to break the tie?
Wait.
Well, you know what?
Either way, it's speaking
I think
a
Milky's
lot
burning.
of
Yeah, sure. Milky break tie, whatever.
Philadelphia.
It'll be alright.
This too is a Baldwin.
Okay. That's a switch to Milky. So that
Okay.
and that
Is
because
the
it's
Canadian
still
a Baldwin?
because it's still a tie. Yeah. Fort. What about you?
It was built by the Montreal Locomotive Works.
All right. And so the point
Otherwise known as the Baldwin of Canada.
the point goes to Milky, who is now calling
Yeah.
against Fort.
Oh boy, here we go again.
Wait a second. Wait, so I'm actually going against.
Yes,
wait,
you're
so
going.
I'm going against Milky.
Yes.
And he's
And wait,
calling.
And
Milky's-
high pressure's.
Milky's calling.
Oh wait. Oh okay.
Because he won that one.
Okay.
I don't know what to tell you, Milky. You're in a rough spot.
I mean, he's in control of the situation.
What is this?
We did it.
I don't
What?
know.
Fort, we did it.
I feel like I have the illusion of choice here.
No, I'm
Summon the
looking.
steampunk spider.
Literally nothing.
Like, wow.
What are the conditions to swap?
Did you was the timeout already called? The
Uh,
timeout was not called,
I
was
think,
it?
so. I think
wait,
it was.
No, it was.
It was.
It was.
Dang.
Yeah.
We're 20
I
behind.
I meant to put
I can think of something. I think. I don't know.
I meant to put a thing in there about it. Oh well,
I
are.
see a stat, but I don't know if I've got that wrong in my head. I guess
Oh.
I'll figure it out.
No, I do believe, I do declare that Milky might have something he can win. I
Explodes.
I'm gonna turn over the timer and give Milky 60 seconds to figure it out.
Yeah.
1, 2.
Would
have a
be
time.
my
Ooh.
whatchamacallit? Tubes?
Would it be? You gonna call tubes?
I don't know. I don't have much
You gotta
other
call
option.
something.
Yeah, I would go with that.
Yeah, tubes.
Okay, tubes for it.
Okay, now I'm scared after what you guys were talking about now. 33 2 2.25 inch.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Do you have it?
I have 122, and my diameter is 1.75.
which are some of the smallest tubes I've seen. Milky wins. It is now 10 to 20.
Yeah.
There are 30 points on the board. Milky, you can go to style points if you want.
Okay, I will go the style points
Yeah.
because my engine has no.
I don't see how you would get any more points than that.
Dang.
Okay.
Can I have a style point for my water pump?
Oh, to suck in water from like creeks and stuff?
It's
No,
also
to
used
fight
for
fires.
firefighting.
Oh, to fight fires?
Yeah.
No,
That's
this is the fire engine.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Wait, is that what that thing on top of the boiler
Yes.
is?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've seen one of those on a Central
Oh my
Pacific
god.
photo once.
Can we mount
think it
these
was,
on every single Cats and TNS engine, please?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what they were used for.
How to prevent 416.
All right. I'm
Tyler, can we get this as an upgraded RO?
No. I don't work for them anymore.
Can we get a big
anymore.
water pump on the big boy?
Okay, so how?
Ellis?
Okay,
What?
I am stealing Bateman.
You don't. You don't. Wait, what? Did you just say I'm stealing Mason?
No, Bateman.
Oh.
I heard Mason as well.
I also heard Mason. I was like, what are you doing? What are you gonna do at the wedding? What? Anyway. All right.
Steal the Declaration of Independence.
Can we have another style point, please?
I was the backup engine for the Royal Train when the Queen last came to Canada.
Okay, I guess
But you
get-
didn't pull the Royal Train.
Well,
That's why
Backup
I said
engine
backup.
that never got used.
you know what? I'm gonna give you a point for that, I guess, because there's some merit to being on the B team, as was discussed before this. Thing.
One teammate.
All right.
I have a style point.
What?
They were green.
Yeah, but Bowker's brown.
I'm blue.
Brown.
I'm a very fetching shade of black.
Yeah,
You're
no,
okay.
I think
Oh, wait.
you are
I think we.
blue.
I meant specifically the they were green bit.
No,
Because I'm pretty
no.
sure that we specifically the color green was a style point last time I've heard. Like green boiler
we're gonna
jacket.
go with you have one colorful engine on your team and the other team has two. Thank you. Moving on.
Okay.
I have the number plate at the front is
Well,
embossed.
don't even try. It's not.
That's the
gonna
same
work.
one as mine. What? You do take my number plate?
Or are you two?
You do
are you,
you
20,
do both
are you-
have embossed number plates.
But he has the lettering on his, like 1392.
He
did.
does. He has lettering on his. What does it say?
He also has the
Canadian
embossed
National.
side cab numbers.
Actually, wait.
Oh, yeah, you do.
Well, I do. I also have those too. I only recently discovered those, but those numbers aren't just painted on the side of the cab. They're actual
Fort,
like metal
Fort,
like plates.
Fort.
That,
He was talking about your engine.
okay. No, I didn't hear that. Sorry.
Okay. What else have we got?
I got white walls, white rods. I got a bell cover. I have a special service head.
Oh, that's what that is? That's a bell cover?
That's where the bells is. It's in there.
Nice.
Okay, I was gonna ask what the heck that is.
That's cool.
I thought when I saw that, I thought it was like something you put one of those big square box headlights in, and I was like, I was thinking, why does that have that?
I was wondering what you were supposed to fit into there. I thought it was for like, I don't know, attachments.
I thought that was only a preservation era thing to keep the bell safe while they were transporting it.
In fairness, though,
Because people
it's
like
still
to steal bells
it's
from
still
engines.
on this engine, and that's a style point. That's neat. I can see something else kind of funny that I was thinking about earlier that that Frisco 4500 has, and it's the mega hinges to open the entire front of the smoke box.
Yes.
The
massive hinge.
I don't usually give
True.
style points, but that particular thing was on the brain, and it just jumped out at
These-
me when I clicked over.
These
I
bad
do
boys.
have a question though. The Bowker. Does the Bowker have knuckles?
At some point in service. it
Not
will.
right now, but
At the very least, it had one knuckle. I have
Yeah.
my doubts that it ever had two.
Maybe
Yeah.
a spare knuckle on the tender.
That
Wait,
doesn't
actually-
count. So we're gonna go with the fact that Team A has a total of 4 knuckles and Team B has a total of 3. Something which I did not think would happen at any point.
Dang.
Actually, let me do a look-see.
If you could find a picture of Bowker with a knuckle on the front of it,
Wait.
then that's
Was it?
great.
Wasn't that at
Okay.
the Steam Up?
Yeah, it was.
That's
Yeah.
where Milky
So-
took these pictures of it.
Yeah,
So
those are actually my photos.
All right, so another point for us. We have more combined air. There's only one of your engines has air.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's mean.
I mean,
Another thing. I have diesel style steps on the side of my pilot, on the side specifically. Because I also have the
Yeah.
front ones, but I also have the side ones.
you're the only person who has that, so yeah.
Side steps?
Sad.
Yeah,
step.
because you and Fort have the front steps. I don't think Bowker does, but I wouldn't be surprised if it did at some
Oh.
point.
LS.
Yes.
I know it can be said without saying, but I have a Vanderbilt tender.
I don't think that's a style point anymore. I think that was only a
Yeah,
style
no, we're
point
not.
for 4100.
We're not giving you a style point for that because the reason that I had given a style point for a Vandy previously is that it had better rearward visibility, but it was just that Vandy and not all of them.
It was the weird
I-
kind
Oh
of
no,
Vandy that
he
was only
can
really
see really well though. He
National and Southern Pacific.
Okay, but I
Alice,
love the
I hope
Vandy.
you realize
Alice,
I'm going to
Alice.
bring that up every time there's a Vanderbilt tender in
Can I
this
just
competition.
And you know
point
what
out-
I'm going to say to it every time?
You know, can I just point out, CN 4100 has the same. CN 4100's Vandy is actually just a bigger version of the SP sausage tenders.
Yes, it is.
That's what those are. The sausage tenders are the same kind of
What is
Vandy
the
as the
Frisco
CN
And
4100 has.
the sausage tenders have an advantage, as much as I
Yeah.
effing hate them.
So wait,
They're better
we-
sightline Vandies, but they work worse than normal Vandies, which is an accomplishment. In some people's eyes,
Hold
I
on,
personally
hold
like
on.
Vandies.
Sprinkles, what are you trying to ask?
me and Milky both live more than the White Pass thing.
What does that
Wait,
mean?
what?
We both survive more than the other team.
Oh, yeah, but
Excuse me.
all 4 of you survive.
I have,
Mm.
let's see,
I don't know about
one,
White
two,
Pass 190.
3.
190 is in.
There's 190,
190 is in.
192,
Fucking Tweetsy.
Yeah, 190 is in Tweetsy.
195.
It survives.
Okay.
192 is
very
at
good
Dollywood, and 195 is still on the White Pass in rough shape.
Hashtag
And there are
Park Trains
2
Matter.
U2Gs surviving.
Okay. Does anybody have any other good style points?
Oh, I have window shades.
Yeah,
I
so
think
does
I have
so
those-
does so does the Tweetsy.
Dang.
I have doors.
Oh wait, both of you have window shades. My bad. Yeah, you guys get a point for that. You have
Oh, is-
doors.
Is this roof red?
Bowker also has doors.
Nah, can't do all weather cab.
I don't have it all with a cab either.
Wait, why can't you do all weather cab?
Oh wait, I thought Frisco had one. No, oh okay,
No.
never mind. Yeah, all weather cab. Yeah.
All weather cab. Okay.
All weather cab in Texas
Since
definitely
Milky's
needed.
being very quiet, I'm gonna say.
We have electrical.
Okay. Well, now you're just being mean.
We gotta take what we can
Okay,
take.
I'm gonna say something here. Aside from giving Milky a point for having rearward visibility better than everyone else combined, I'm gonna say that it is incredible to me that the people on the team that did not have the British 1800s engine did not go hammering, knuckles, electricity, air, like all of the modern fixings that steam locomotives have that Kaiser's big wheel did not. Like there could have been a comeback
wheel.
there. I'm just
I
saying.
blame Milky.
No,
Oh wait, I also I have elephant ears.
you do.
That too.
What you do?
No, I said you do, and he said that
Wait.
too.
Oh okay.
I have a tiny
Okay,
cow
so-
cat.
Tiny baby cow catcher. Yeah, so does the Dollywood. Or the
So do
tweets.
I. I have a little tiny baby cow catcher.
I've not been able to.
we all do.
That's like the closest I think we'll see of the
No, hold on.
Bowker with a knuckle.
That means I'm giving the Bowker a point for having better cow catchers than all of you. That's not a knuckle.
The thing
know,
is,
but I'm
though,
saying
this
that's
is
the
around the
closest.
same time as they should be getting knuckles, and so my thinking is it most likely did get a knuckle
You
for
see,
about 19010, 5 to 15.
19010.
That's
a year.
That's
19010.
That's
I
reasonable,
remember that
and I
year
will
well.
correct the points for that.
It's my favorite year.
It's mostly because Sprinkles and Milky are behind by 9 points. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Did
so,
I get my? Oh, my bad.
No, you can talk over
both
Brian. It's fine.
Fort
What were you
and
saying?
I said, did I get my white wall and
Yes.
white rods? Okay.
No, I mean,
As,
you're only getting because of the
I
white
mean,
rods.
both of us had white balls at some point.
Well,
question.
I have white walls, but he has white rods. I don't have those.
What were you
I
saying,
don't think
Brian?
I did. Okay. Both Fort and I worked in multiple countries. We both regularly crossed the border.
You guys went in more than 3 states?
Yes.
I was named
The
for
White Path
another
is a
country.
border crossing road, and he
No.
went into, I believe it was either Detroit or Chicago.
Yeah.
He regularly interchanged with the Grand Trunk.
Okay. I just am gonna square one more thing, which
Everyone
is
knows me
sorry.
for.
What were you saying, Milky? Sorry.
Said everyone knows my name for for what I wore for 6 months before the guy I was named for got fired.
Yep, you do have a name.
I have one
Actually,
too.
it's 2 names.
General? Question mark?
It's 2 names. That's true.
I'm the JW Boker and Mexico
Mexico.
because the guy got fired after 6 months.
He was like the mechanical engineer.
Yeah.
Also,
He sold a Billy trunk and got fired.
all right, I'm gonna hang the cape up here because we got to move on to
Hang
the
on, I have
round.
two, I have named.
You have
Yeah, he
names.
has 2 names.
Hang on, let me. It's
Milky, did you
Yukon
go with
Queen.
the point for the World's Fair and all that? And movies.
Milky should get a
Yeah.
point for the World's Fair. Milky also has a balloon stag, or a spark arrestor,
Yeah.
and the media stuff. So that brings it to 22 to 28. Wow.
We had a lot of style points.
Also, you have a smoke light, Sprinkles, and nobody else does. Just saying.
Yep, I do.
All right. Well,
What are smoke lights again?
the little light in front of or behind the stack that shines on the smoke, so that the firemen can see if they are making black
Burning
smoke,
clean at
or
night,
if they're
yeah.
burning clean at night.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it shows up on some later engines. It's neat.
51 points.
Yeah, and congratulations to Brian and Fort.
Yep. Congrats, you guys.
Redemption.
That was well played. I didn't realize the Bowker didn't have half of its points.
Yeah, that's a little rough. All right.
Otherwise, it probably would have been a good meme.
All right, I've done well for 2 rounds. I think I'm gonna drop. Anybody else can take my place.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm going to be going too. I'm going to be turning in for the night.
All right.
Okay.
This is the
I'm
Okay.
still gonna be here. I'm just gonna spectate.
all right.
Have
This
a
is the
good
last game of the night. Who's jumping in on this one? I know.
I'm in because I'm finally home.
Yep.
Yeah.
Vert is
Vert,
getting in here.
okay.
Oops, I,
Yeah.
I put Vert
So
under
I'm
the
here.
locomotive slot.
I'm here, and I've been paying attention as much
Oh,
as I can,
God.
but I also
Um,
don't know what's going on.
It's like Locomotive Versus, except when you win a stat, if you're behind in the points, you can switch to the other person on your team.
Think Loco versus, but tag
Yeah.
team.
Jesus Christ, I
Okay.
turned Vert down.
I just
Sorry.
thought of something. Like, among the people that are trying to get into this round are Matt, Tyler,
Ace
and Milky.
and Vert. Milky was just in.
It seems like this seems
Yeah,
like the
Milky's been
ultimate
in,
meme
like 2 of
team.
them.
The memes
I'm-
are going to be flying any minute now.
What is
I-
this?
I'm chilling.
Okay, so
If someone else wants to go, great. If we need one more person, great.
okay, important question for Vert: would you like to be with Matt or against Matt?
Against math because
Okay.
you got that Delaware and Hudson question wrong.
Oh my god! I need to put those videos out. I need to
I
put those
feel
videos
as
out.
if I feel
I
as
need
if
to make
you're
Canadian Railway Jeopardy.
I feel as if you're caught
Ew.
on something.
JW,
Just a little bit stuck on something there, bud.
this
I
is
feel like there's a little bit of a thing you're stuck on there, not gonna lie.
Matt, did you just spend the last 5
is
minutes
it
making
now?
this?
Hey, well,
I'll
I
go
didn't
again.
spend 5 minutes. I spent like 2.5.
2.5.
God's sake.
Okay.
Okay, Ace, are you jumping in this round?
Yes.
Alright, do you want to be with Vert or Matt?
Well, I want to know what they're taking.
Okay, we'll
Ah.
discuss,
Well, that's the question.
discuss that privately, please.
Yeah.
And when Tyler comes back, because Tyler's muted, I think they're just running to the bathroom or whatever.
Yes, please DM me with your engines.
Neither higher nor lower. C.
Oh my god.
I'm not even totally positive what's up for grabs here. I literally
You
just
can
jumped
bring
in.
whatever you want.
Anything.
You can bring whatever you want.
Anything.
Yeah.
Ooh.
In
How exciting.
in the future, we might do some I almost called it duels, some double headers with with pre-planned stuff,
Real
sort
double
of like,
headers?
sort of like we do
Real
the
double
Royales.
headers.
Yeah. All right, I
How
meant to put the
exciting.
rules thing in. Give me this.
Good morning, Vietnam.
Welcome back.
Copy link. Tyler, are you jumping in?
Is there a spot open?
There is a spot open.
Yeah.
Oh god. Wait, I have an idea.
Oh boy. When Tyler has the idea, it's usually
Yeah.
Mimi and
Currently,
Sean.
currently the team captains, quote unquote, are Matt and Vert. So Ace is trying to decide whose team he wants to be on.
There is no good
So
outcome.
if you want,
I'm
if you
sending
want
out the
to
bat
pick,
signal for chaos.
If you
yeah,
want,
Chaos?
Tyler, if you want
You
to pick,
wanna just do chaos?
No,
gonna end up-
I'm calling Ellis's son.
oh god, we're only doing one more, but yeah, I guess if
Wait a
if
minute.
East wants to jump in on this one.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
Oh my god, Glory's making food.
Okay,
and
he's
it's so
way
good.
too tired. I'm sad now.
I mean, yeah, he's been flying literally all day.
Yeah.
No, you'll have to bring the chaos yourself. Thankfully, your two possible partners are Vert and Matt, so there will be no shortage of chaos.
I mean, theoretically, I could hop in with somebody else. I could go for round 3.
Yeah, I
Oh,
want to go for a
Jesus.
I want to go for a second round.
Hey,
Order
hey!
in
By the way, fun fact: I'm not bringing 4488.
Okay.
You know what I'd love to
God.
see though?
What?
Vert and Matt on a team.
Well, we might have to save that for next week because Vert
Yeah.
is holding a grudge right now.
Yeah,
Oh,
next
you'll
Wednesday.
figure it out when the Railroad Jeopardy video
Yeah.
comes out.
The real
Sometime
question
within
is,
the next 6 months.
Yeah.
the real question is, who
Maybe.
do Vert and Matt want as their teammates?
Well, Ace is trying to pick between them.
I'm still confused.
It's okay, Matt. It's not a hard game to figure it out as we go.
I'm just trying to
Matt, you
find
need my
Daniel
help.
Nason stats.
Oh, for God's sake!
I'll go with Matt.
I mean, the closest you're gonna get
I'm
is
gonna go.
Attleboro.
I'm gonna go with the Matt because this sounds like it's gonna be
Well,
hilarious.
if I can find the stats, I really hope I can find
Just
the stats.
take Attleboro.
So that means Tyler's with me.
Yeah.
If Tyler's jumping.
All right. I
There we
guess I
go.
shall.
All right. Yeah, because you haven't been in one
Boston
tonight.
and Providence class Attleboro.
I'm just gonna open trains in the back.
I like having the names in order of size. So Tyler's going in the top row and Brett's going to the bottom row.
What?
Wow, OCD brain.
Yeah, no,
much.
shut up.
I'm trying to make a decision as quickly as possible right now.
Okay.
I can
Well,
send
we
you
should
something.
first see what they're doing.
I'll give you another.
Yeah.
No, you guys. Next time,
It
I'm gonna
is.
ask that people have their teams pre-planned and their engines pre-planned, so that we don't have this dumb dance of like, oh well, I'm gonna bring this engine. I'm gonna bring this engine. No, actually, I'm gonna bring this engine. You know,
Well,
whatever.
my engine was picked for no matter what.
Well, I'm
I
giving.
just wanted to know what my companion would be.
Okay. I mean, yeah, it doesn't really matter that much, but I'm just saying. And I turned the timer over, so when this is up, you guys better have engines figured out.
So
All right.
So is Attleboro the same thing as Nason for the most part?
Similar. It's similar.
Okay, good enough. Chaos. I found one picture. It's chaotic enough for me.
Yeah, can you send the picture? Because I think I know the picture.
It's like from the back corner.
Send the picture.
It's on a Facebook group, so it's like really blurry. Just a second.
Oh, yeah, it might be the picture. Not the Attleboro train schedule, please.
Man, I love how Attleboro on the Steam Loco page is spelled with exactly 3 more letters than the Attleboro that's on the side of the engine.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, there it is. That's the picture. George Griggs! We love Griggs. Everyone should remember him from Jeopardy.
It's like 5 numbers away from my son, so it's fine.
Yeah, it is.
Good enough.
They were built by the same people, for the same railroad. It was these engines was basically Griggs sort of iterating on a theme, just like, all right, I'm gonna make some marginal improvements with each locomotive.
Fuck it.
So wait a second. That means
I've
that
been working on this damn.
That means that this is worse than
on this
Mason.
territory for all week.
This is what I came to the Golf Royale with.
Oh,
and lost.
Yikes! I'm missing a good amount of stats. That's fine.
Oh.
That's fine.
Yeah,
That's no problem.
I know
That's
that
okay.
feeling.
1, 2. It's only
Okay,
5. I'm only missing 5 stats.
really.
It's fine.
Oh, that's not that bad.
Axle loading, wheelbase ratio, engine wheelbase,
Quick,
driver
write it down,
wheelbase.
write it down, write it down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it was between this engine or 60. I was gonna
So
take.
B&P, Attleboro, and then
Attleboro.
Attleboro, and then this is Erie 3157. That's yours, Vert, right?
Yeah.
Oh, there's the spreadsheet.
Oh god damn it! I just got your notifications.
All right. What is Ace? What are you bringing?
The heavyweight champion of the world,
Is it the AC9? Are you
the
bringing?
AC9.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Base.
This is gonna pair really well with
Bert, do
Attleboro.
I just say fuck it? Okay, we're doing it. Fuck it.
Fuck it. We're doing it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
60,000.
Yeah.
No, wait a second. We can't have you having all the bonus points.
No, we're going. We're locked in.
Oh
Yeah.
60,000.
Okay, Roz, calm down.
no. I love the chaotic laughing because it sounds like he's absolutely going over the edge any second.
Balls end.
Okay, so,
Wits end. Yes.
because Matt has the weakest locomotive by a country mile, heads or tails?
Also, where is the spreadsheet, and can I have a link to it?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's right. You need that. It's up here somewhere.
Okay.
It's buried under all the things.
No, he doesn't need it. That's a lie.
Yeah, you don't need it.
Oops, I almost pinged the wrong person. There we go.
Thank you.
Baldwin Weed Destroyer.
Yes. That vein.
I love it.
I'm gonna need that.
All right,
Casually feels.
Matt, heads or tails?
Yeah. Heads.
All right, flipping the coin. Heads. It originally came up tails, but it came up tails before you picked heads or tails, so I flipped it again.
Excellent.
So,
I was gonna say it was rigged if it hit tails because I don't have the proof to see the coin.
it's on video.
Excellent.
Anyway. Okay, so, this is like BattleBots where we have the different matches. Imagine if I spent the time to edit these down into things that made sense.
That would take all the fun out of it.
Yeah, Matt, who on your team is going first?
Let me remember who I'm on a team with, and then I'll tell you.
You're
You're on the team with
you're on the
Ace.
team with the largest engine in
He's
the
in an
world.
AC9.
Okay. Hey, do you want to go first or something? Or
I don't care. I don't care. You want to
I'm
get
gonna-
the weight?
I'm gonna-
you want to
I'm
get
gonna-
the weight stats out of the way for me? That'd be great.
yeah, you know what? Sure, let's do that.
All right, Attleboro's going first. Bert, which of your team members, Team A, which
This was a
of you
mistake.
would like to respond to?
Well, I think the obvious choice would be me.
Okay,
Right, have fun, soldier.
yeah, this is gonna go well. All right,
Get the music strung up.
Matt, what is your stat call?
This was a mistake. Wait on drivers.
Bert,
Wait on drivers. 256,860.
Man, literally like more than 10 times me. I'm 20,880.
yeah, Matt weighs 6 pounds.
Yeah, not surprising.
Who could have seen this coming?
All right, pick something else. Matt.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yep.
Yep.
I've not been on the ball today. I want engine weight. Yeah.
Engine weight.
Also, Ace, please, Ace, because you're on the calling team but not calling.
Yeah,
please
I
keep track of
already
what's-
got.
Thank you.
them.
Sorry, Bert, go ahead.
343,480.
44,700.
Okay. Go again.
Okay.
I wonder what's next. Total engine and tender weight. Whoa.
Oh, how surprising.
Look, man, what do you expect
No
me to
engine
do here?
tender weight. 519,780.
65,500.
Okay. That's another point for Matt.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Are we supposed to be writing these down on the spreadsheet? Or...
No,
I'm
Ace is...
marking these.
Because
Okay.
Ace is on the calling team but not calling, he's in charge of marking down what's going on and, of course, taking score of the points. This is, again,
Okay.
this is more like Locomotive Versus than Locomotive Royale.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's been a very long time, if ever, that I played Versus instead of Royale, so I was
Yeah.
a little lost. But I'm trying. Speaking of trying, I guess I should try.
Yeah.
It's all the way in the back on the first row. Sorry about that. What was that?
Nothing. I was just talking to myself.
Okay, well, call something.
Yeah, minimum weight of rail.
107.
Take out the 0. 17.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
Jesus Christ. That's lighter than. Fuck me.
Yeah, he wasn't wrong. He was dead on with his estimation. He's a tenth of the weight.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Alright,
it's lighter than some of the Brunel engines.
alright, go ahead, Matt. In fairness,
You know, I'm actually curious about this one. Driver diameter.
Driver diameter. Where the hell did it go?
Matt, if you screw the pooch here, I swear to God. If it's too much chaos.
I
Think-
lost that last
Driver
one.
diameter 63.
Uh-oh. 54.
Oh my god. Alright,
Oh my god.
Bert,
I had a bit of a lapse there.
Welcome to last
Yeah.
round.
Bert, you are now in charge. You can switch locomotives if you'd like.
What do we want to do, Tyler?
I kind of want to just slaughter that. Slaughter
Oh, man.
the
Slaughter, you say? Then we're tagging in!
Alright, Tyler's about to get a massive cathartic release.
I've made a grave mistake.
Oh, why have you done this, Matt?
So
I don't know, dude. I'm sorry.
Matt.
Ace, your first mistake was being on a team with Matt.
Yeah.
Alright, Bert, you're in charge of keeping track of the calls now.
Roger.
Tyler, what is your first stat call?
Matt, buddy old pal. How much pressure does your kettle hold?
Hmm.
Given that his dome is square,
Uh-oh.
75.
Oh.
350.
75! Oh my god.
Okay. High pressure cylinders.
15 by 20.
27 by 32.
Oh
Yep.
my god. Wait. Do you have
It is
two
high
of them or
pressure
one?
One? Actually, yeah. Fuck.
Hold on, we're taking this to the
Second.
spreadsheet.
Okay.
Oh no.
Go over to the local Royale tab, please.
2-1.
I still think you're gonna win, but I just need to know.
Let's see, what was the not 15 by 20?
I looked, there's low pressure cylinders and there is no number.
I have no idea what number of cylinders. I'm gonna assume
You have two.
Two.
You have two.
2. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah. Nate's just kind of
Yep.
Water.
I'm coughing again. I just choked on my own damn spit.
Excellent. My cringe is giving you sickness.
Yeah, you're killing.
Tractive effort, my dear fellow.
Well, that's a number. That's a number, isn't it? Uh-oh. 5,313.
81,969.
Yeah, everyone that is watching this and part of this is going to get a lesson in how botching it with a small locomotive early on is really, really bad.
No kidding.
Oh, fuck me.
Matt, I appreciate the vibe that you bring no matter where you go.
Look, man, I'm here for the
Here's
joke. I'm
also
here
a
for the
fun
joke.
one.
Oh
A
dear
couple
lord.
of fun ones for you, Matt.
Oh dear lord.
Ow.
What is your valve gear?
This
Oh.
is a good question.
What the heck is Link?
He's a dude from Zelda, you know?
What the heck is Link?
Anyway,
Oh,
Tyler,
dear.
what's yours?
Ball sharks.
Okay, yeah.
I was gonna say if it was Baker, it would have been even better.
Good to know that. Good to know that the 60,000 has better valve gears and the worst engine imaginable.
Yes.
My
That's ironic
fellow.
because my engine has Baker too.
My good fellow, might I inquire when you were
No.
constructed?
No. You may not, my good fellow. You may not. Although, if you're really curious, it was 1855.
1926, guys.
I just want to
Boring.
make a note how substantially older this is than the thing that Kaiser brought.
That's just because Britain. Okay, I'm looking elsewhere on the sheet, and there's apparently a type of valve gear called hook.
Yeah,
Yeah.
What?
that
I'm
actually
sorry.
can only be defeated by Peter Pan valve gear.
Ah,
And because of the noise it makes when it moves.
dang!
Yeah.
Should have taken Bristol instead. Darn.
Also, my good fellow, might I inquire, who
No.
did you?
Ow, Matt, stop doing that. Matt.
Okay. P&B Roxbury.
Well, I believe
Yeah.
my builder is put on the side of my engine.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
For those
nice.
who are
Listen.
not aware, Baldwin Locomotive.
You were
I
born
thought it
with
was
an
out
out
engine,
in the land.
and he is one man in a shed.
Darn it, we made a pretty terrible locomotive
I mean,
doing that,
thankfully
right?
he's one legendary man because he was incredibly important for the development of steam locomotives. Unfortunately, he built stuff that looked like this.
What do you mean? That's the pinnacle of
Why does it
locomotive
have?
design.
Why does it have like the twin towers holding up the bell?
It has like factory smokestacks holding up the bell, and it has like a side table as a steam dome.
Also,
Side table has his theme.
my good fellow,
Darn it,
might
that's
I
funny.
inquire
I don't want to laugh.
when Steve thought it necessary to put you into the Loco base?
9,540.
419.
That's
Boring.
I'll be honest. That's still way lower than I expected. For both
That's
of you.
interesting. I was
That's
gonna
because it's
say,
so good.
Ace, what was your Loco base ID? Just out
What's
of
my
curiosity.
loco base ID?
Yeah.
336.
I'm 78.
Nice.
Because you're a Mikado. Because he's a Mikado.
Boring.
Mikado. Yeah.
And my good fellow, might I inquire the length of your flues and tubes?
Do you even have this?
Both at the same.
I don't have flues, but I have flu 2 length, and it's 9.
Yeah, that's
what he asked.
Okay, 9? You
It's
said
9.
23, my good fellow.
Okay. That's nice.
Matt, stop telling him what you don't have.
Look, man, I'm already up the creek without a paddle.
Yeah,
It
but
can't get
here's
any
the
worse.
thing. If he calls something you don't have, it automatically switches to ace.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
I'm learning as I go. Awesome. Cool.
What about? That is,
you should
ace
have this.
has.
I gave him a simple instruction, and he went and chose driver diameter.
Look, man, I forgot that 54 was not that good.
Bruh.
Would you happen to have a firebox area?
Firebox diarrhea. 66.
772.
Bonk.
Great area.
10 and a quarter. 10 and 3/4. 10.75. Holy crap.
82.5.
Yeah, it doesn't matter anyway because you have that. Okay.
Going forward, I'm just gonna call George Griggs the guy who invented the firebox.
Would you
Before
happen
that, it
to
was
have
a-
an evaporated heating surface?
623.
5,192.
Good lord.
God.
I assume you probably don't have a superheating surface considering your previous comment, so combined heating surface.
623 as well.
6,549.
Oh my god.
Ace, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean for this to happen.
How could this
And because of
happen?
this,
I know.
I
Why
almost
did you
asked the
call?
question.
Why did you call driver diameter?
I
Ace
forgot
brings
that
out the
54
most-
was not decent.
Ace brings out the most meta engine, hands the game off to Matt and Attleboro, and expects good things to happen.
I just expected him to get weight stats out of the way. I gave him one job, and that's just to get weight stats out of the way.
I
Lesson
started to,
learned,
then
I
was
hope.
Then I was
Lesson
like, wait a second.
definitely learned.
Wait a second. 440 has bigger drivers, right? And that thing looks like
In
it
theory.
has smaller. That thing looks like it has smaller drivers. I was wrong.
hey Matt, question for you.
What?
My good fellow. Since we have determined that your cylinder volume is still smaller than mine, evaporated heating
No
surface around
kidding.
the cylinder volume.
152.3.
489.62.
Holy crap.
Yep. At this point, I'm laughing just because of the situation I put myself in.
Robert Limasita's power computation, my good fellow.
806.
28,875.
Oh man.
I honestly just wanted to hand it off to him just to see how much destruction would happen, and I would say it's up there with the El Reno tornado.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna.
In terms of that,
This is what Tyler has been wanting to do for the last. I don't know. When did you find out about Daniel Layson? Like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2.5 years ago.
You know what?
This is cathartic,
You're,
actually.
you're welcome, my friend. You're welcome.
Anyway,
you.
we're gonna be including Attleboro in the next card pack.
No.
Excellent. Please. I will pay for
Same
that.
as above plus superheater percentage, my good fellow.
Would you look at that? It's still 806.
34,939.
All right, we have hit a
Okay.
total of 20 points, which means that anyone can call the only timeout available.
Same as well, but it says Firebox area for great area.
Hold on.
Guess what's not gonna happen? Guess exactly what's not gonna happen. That.
What?
Timeout, because I feel like the only guy that's got power here knows what he's doing.
Okay, Tyler's team, would you like to switch locomotives?
I don't think so, because I think Tyler's honed in for the kill right now.
Okay,
Ace, I would implore you to let me still murder Matt.
Matt's...
No, Matt already decided that he's gonna send me in.
Okay.
Yes, I
No,
did.
let me
Please.
murder
No.
him, or he
No.
failed you. Let me kill him.
The funny has run out. Now I'm just near crying.
This is a double header. There are two engines here.
Yeah, and one
There
of them
doesn't
is
need to be. You
one
can
of them is
abandon him.
one of them is severely underperforming. As
Yeah,
to
I
the
would
other
have
one.
liked
Matt,
to play this
Matt.
game.
Matt,
I would like to play the game.
it's okay. This is what happened to me when I brought Attleboro to the losers to the Gulf Royale. Except, I lost. I had the most points in the Gulf Royale with Attleboro. It was
Ow.
because everyone else bought was so bad, and I just was missing stats, and
Okay.
man,
yeah.
it was not a good time. But I'm glad that I can spread around my misery with Attleboro.
And don't
Okay.
forget, I also had the NG2 at one point, which I famously introduced a new meme.
I'm
God.
actually very glad that I have done this, because now I know what not to do again, but also what to
Yep.
definitely do again.
Yeah, we'll be doing these again next week probably because these seem to be going well and going
meant,
over
like-
well.
I meant like Attleboro, but yeah, that too.
Oh, okay.
No, being my punchy bag.
So I just have to do it when you're not around.
You think I'll ever not be around?
We will at
Yes.
some point go to St. Louis and see Daniel Nason, but that's beside the
Oh,
point.
Yes.
God.
Yeah,
No, you gotta tell
we're
me.
tying them to 40.
I will
Okay.
hug it. I will hug it, and you cannot stop me.
All right. So what is the situation now?
The
It's
situation
you calling
is,
against me,
Yes.
I think.
Tyler, you are calling against
All right.
the AC9.
Okay, against
Where do I have
AC9,
to,
you
Where do I
say.
have to start writing stuff down?
You have to start writing stuff down over here. When something gets called, just mark it as called.
Over where?
Over in column
Okay.
A on the sheet.
Just a second.
I have it highlighted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when something gets called, just mark it as called. That's all.
Okay.
Anyway,
Cool.
Okay, let me take uno momento to kind of get adjusted to what the heck we're dealing with here.
yeah, you can't
Actually,
just
wait a minute.
dunk
This is
on him with
this is
impunity anymore.
easy. This is easy, actually. Engine wheelbase.
66.25 feet.
45.17.
Okay, I will say that is almost as long as the sign that is behind Attleboro in that picture.
This is a bit of a gamble, but you have larger drivers, so driver wheelbase.
Driver wheelbase, 33.83 feet.
22.8 free feet.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Ow.
Wow.
Actually, has driver diameter? Yeah, driver diameter's been called. Ace, out of curiosity, what's your driver
Yes.
diameter?
My driver diameter. I'm not gonna tell you.
D-
You can look
Got
that
him.
up yourself.
Well, no, he
Okay.
can't, but
Well, yeah, but
After the show, maybe, I don't know.
It's only illegal if anybody finds out.
you see, Matt, you deny them any information.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know, just the concept. What's your overall wheelbase?
Overall wheelbase, 112 feet, almost 113 feet.
Okay, well, 86.94 feet.
man.
Let's see here. Okay.
This has got to be like the.
That could
the-
do it. 200. No. Tender loaded weight.
Tender loaded weight. 400,700 pounds.
243,400.
Wow.
This has got to be like at least the third time that I've single-handedly ruined a game.
Yeah, but be proud of that because not many other people can say that.
Well, yeah, it's just like how I had the record
I've only done it
for
once.
gulags that one time.
Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
it just reminds me of when you and Hemlock were on a team. It just is a reminder that you don't play to win. You just play.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
It's in the game. EA something or other. Right?
I don't like it, but you know what? I'm just gonna bet because it's yeah. Factor of adhesion.
Factor of adhesion, 4.31.
Okay, good. My memory served me well. 4.13.
Ugh.
like 20 minutes.
We live vicariously tonight, boys.
I don't want to hear it. you knew exactly what was going on up until 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, up until 5 minutes ago, I knew it was just kill.
Yeah.
Kill.
Tyler's seeing red. Except it's the red on the front of the Daniel Nason.
Tubes.
Tubes. I have 86 2¼ inch tubes.
Okay, I have 206 at 2¼
Okay.
So we are going to dodge
Mine are-
the next bullet there. We are gonna go look and
Mine
see.
are just
I don't like that.
Who spelled locomotive wrong?
Okay, we're at 26 points. Can't do that. Can't do that.
That wasn't me,
Those.
right? I didn't copy that incorrectly from somewhere else. Hold on.
Ellis?
What?
We need to send you back to like grammar school.
Locomotive.
Hold on, I'm checking the scorecard. Did I screw it up in here?
Christ. Oh dear.
No, it's correct in here, which is where I copied this from, I think. No, I copied it from, where did I copy it from? Oh, I copied it from this page. Did I spell it wrong over here?
Okay. I don't 100% like the position I'm in,
No,
but
I just misspelled it there randomly. Never mind.
nice.
What was that, baby?
Ace,
I can tell.
Yes.
my dear fellow, could you give me same as the blood, but substitute firebox area for great area?
But substitute for firebox.
Or yeah, substitute firebox for great.
27,905.
Are you sure? That's
Yeah, no, I'm not sure. That's the wrong stat. 189,953.
okay. Are you sure?
I am
that's...
sure about that.
Okay, because mine's 326,942.
What?
Ooh, what?
I love this engine.
I used to really love the 60,000, and now I really don't like it
Tyler
anymore.
with this engine is a war crime.
Yeah.
Power L1, my dear fellow.
Our L1 is 27,905.
I can
37,145.
I can hear the defeat starting to enter Ace's
Also,
voice.
Gloria just gave me some fried chicken, and she gave me a salad fork and one of our bad knives.
Aw.
Darn.
Jesus, this is a.
What?
What have I
I'm gonna
released?
still eat it.
Power tea, my dear fellow.
You've
This-
made a
This
monster
knife is
vert.
dull as dicks.
926 and a half.
Okay, 1,209.97.
What, baby?
Okay.
Oh.
I'm gonna have an irrational fear of Tyler now.
No, that's completely rational.
It's like you're not you without a Snickers.
You're
It's
not
like the-
you and Daniel Nason.
Yeah, it's like the old Snicker advertisements or whatever it was.
All right, Tyler.
Yeah.
Okay.
The best part is it's not even Daniel Mason.
No, it's his brother.
Yeah, but he can't have this. He can't even have the I don't know the pride to have beaten Daniel Mason itself. He will deny him that.
I don't. I do not know what I want to
Timer's running.
here.
This came out pretty good.
Do you have low pressure cylinders?
No.
Matt, do you have low pressure cylinders?
He doesn't.
I was just like sleeping over here, and you just said that, and whoa.
Do I don't like that.
Well, you're almost out of time.
Oh, crap. This is...
Tyler, pick something.
Blues.
Flues.
Flues? Okay. I have 263.5-inch flues.
Okay, I've lost that. 50 at 5.5.
Okay.
It's about time.
Did you seriously
Hey,
never call superheating surface?
Mr. Tyler.
Yeah, he didn't call it superheating.
All right,
surface,
hold
I
on,
don't
hold on.
believe.
One question, Ace. Would you like to
Yeah.
switch locomotives, or would you like
Why
to keep
would
it?
I? No, no. Okay. I'm already calling my next stat.
Okay.
Mr. Tyler,
Yes.
would you like to tell me how many of them did they build?
Oh, man.
Uno.
They built 12 of mine.
I'm Matt. Please keep
Respectable.
track of
So
Doodad.
how many are in your class?
Uno.
I'd say 12 again.
Okay.
Yeah,
One all.
I could have beaten him on that. I had 40.
What's your water capacity, Mr. Man?
Water capacity. 12,000.
22,120.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Gloria put spices in this rice. I don't have any water.
Uh-oh.
Oh dear.
Bye-bye.
Oh,
1, 22, 25, 26, 27.
Run.
Hold on.
Hey, Tyler, are you a coal engine?
I'm a coal, yeah.
I also am a coal engine at
This
one point.
too.
How much coal do you have?
16 tons.
I have 28 tons.
Eee.
Alright, go again. Took one bite of that rice.
I guess I've got
The
not
rice, not
much
the
choice. Fuck it. Why don't we do superheating surface?
Superheating surface. 1,357 square feet.
28.
Oh, that's why he didn't call superheating surface.
830.
Yeah, it's a much longer boiler,
Yeah.
Ellis, if you haven't noticed.
Well, it is.
It's
But,
a
you know.
longer engine. And I have a
Oh.
huge firebox, so my superheating surface area itself is just
Yeah, I'm
immediately...
gonna be
Then
real
I
with
have
you for a
to-
second. I don't know why I expected you to have called that.
Wheelbase ratio.
Real base ratio 0.51.
Same. Or no. hang on.
Right, are you serious? It's a 0.51 also?
Hang on. Wheelbase ratio is overall wheel. No.
Ratio of driving wheelbase overall.
with
Yeah,
engine
it
wheelbase.
is also 0.51.
What?
Well,
Yeah,
I guess we're
oh.
breaking this.
Style points, boys.
That's broken. Okay, wait. That's not how that... First of all, that's not how that works. It's a tie. So, Tyler, you're on the
Sure.
receiving end. Would you like Vert to break the tie?
Question for: can you break the tie?
He can't answer that.
Because you know what?
I am legally bound.
Looking at his trailing truck, you know what? No. We're not gonna. I'm not gonna put Vert in. My internal clock is telling me that no.
All right.
Internal clock? You know what? Never mind. No.
Ace. Now Matt has to break the tie. Actually,
I have to assume this is better than
Matt, what is your wheelbase ratio?
5-1.
Okay, let me take a look at this. Wheelbase ratio not applicable?
I'm sorry. What?
What?
There's nothing there.
You seriously don't have ratio of wheelbase driving engine wheelbase?
I have no wheelbase stats.
Okay then. So I guess it remains at
So
tie.
then, okay, yeah.
Which means that it does go to Tyler.
Points.
How sneaky?
Fuck yourself.
Then what? Then I'm doomed. Then I was doomed from the start. He didn't have any wheelbase. That's the only reason I teamed up with him after I heard he's bringing an 1800s engine. He picks driver diameter and doesn't have any wheelbase stats.
Bert, I love this.
Anyway, all right. So Tyler, are you going to style points?
Yes, style
Yeah,
points.
might as well.
Is there really a point in going to style points? I don't
Yes.
think I can make up 15 style points.
I'll find a way to do it with this thing.
At least.
No, you won't.
Yeah, I will.
Question, Matt. Do you have a?
I invoke the mercy rule because
Yeah,
there's
I would
no-
also
like,
like to invoke the mercy rule because I want to eat my dinner. I want to eat my incredibly
Come on.
spicy rice.
Can I bully Matt some more?
You know what? You can do it. You can bully Matt, but I'm not going to count any points. You guys won. You're good.
Darn it. Darn it, I wanted to beat him.
Feed water heater.
I also have a feed water heater. Okay.
Do you have a water tube boiler firebox?
Jesus Christ.
I was converted from coal to.
All right, you
It's
guys.
not the same thing.
You guys keep keep it on. We're gonna round this out here.
He's putting us on autopilot, guys.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming on this first episode of what is this called again? Doubleheaders.
Yeah, double headers.
I've forgotten
Listen,
the
man,
name
I'm
of the
hungry.
game.
I had to stand in the sun
Double
for an hour
tails.
wait for a tow truck. So thanks to you guys. Thanks to Stephen West, of course. And
Hold on a moment.
there will be more Royales and more trading cards sooner or later. Waiting
And
on.
more hijinks.
Oh yeah, do any of you survive?
Shut up. There are more. More hijinks coming next week with more doubleheaders. Feel free to plan your teams ahead of time now that everyone knows about this game type. And
It's like fantasy football, but
don't
terrible. Don't be me.
yeah, don't do what Matt did.
So, embossed number plates, right?
How about a name? You got a name.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see you next
I have
week.
a named train.
Bye.
Three-axle
Bye.
tender. Three-axle
Bye.
tender.
That's not a style point.
Three-axle tender. It's absolutely a style
Bye.
point.
Absolutely.
We're ending this show now.
End it. Just cut it off.
No,
We're done
so,
here.
no
End
Rod.
the video.
Question.
No
Thank
Rod.
you very
right?
I have a
much. Good
question.
night.